What is up, hooligans? And happy freedom. Welcome to another episode of Coffee with Hooligans, where we try to make the news suck a little less. As you can see, President Trump just stepped on stage, so share out the live so everyone can hear from the president.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. And a very special hello to Michigan. We're going to bring back your car industry. And it's great to be back in this beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Before we begin, I want to just repeat something that just came out over the wires. It's big stuff by the patriots of immigration and customs enforcement. You know what that is? That's ICE. These are tough guys. They're almost as tough as you. You guys, look at this guy. You guys. Not quite. No, these are tough people. They love our country, but you need them. But for the first time ever, we have specific numbers that were just released. And it's about the people that crossed the border illegally under Kamala Harris. But she's even, look, that she's even running is frankly ridiculous, okay? That's not a president. That's not a president. She went to the border today because she wanted to see if she could. She's getting killed on the border. And she went to the border. This was a bad day because somebody just released the numbers that came out through ICE. According to this brand new data, never seen before, over 13,099 convicted murderers have crossed the border and are free to roam and kill in our country. These are convicted murders. These are people that were in jail. Now, I've been talking about this for 3 years. When I heard they were opening up the border, 3.5 years, I said, if they open the border, because I know the people on the other side, and they're smart, savvy people, you know, they're at the top of their game. Our leaders are not at the top of their game at all. They never were, actually. But our leaders are not. These are smart people. And these are countries from all over the world, 13,000, more than 13,000. Convicted murderers have been let out of jail, and they're roaming our streets, their country all over. And every state is a border state. You know what that means, right? Every state, because they fly them in. Can you imagine? They fly them in. These people are, I'm starting to think they're stupid. They're just stupid. So that's one. As well, and other numbers came out along with it. Over 13,000 convicted murderers from jails in jail. And I told you, they're releasing them from jails, and these fake people, these stupid people, will say they don't release them from jail. They do, Mike. They do. You know that. You better elect him your senator, I'll tell you. As well as over, and these are specific numbers. That's why when they rounded them out, I said, I don't want them rounded out. I want the exact number. As well as 25,272 illegals convicted of rape, sex offense, or sexual assault and in jail. These are people all in jail because they don't want them in jail. They're too expensive, and they don't want them in their countries. They're smarter than us. They give them to us. We're like a dumping ground. In total, 425,431 non-detained, meaning they're no longer in detention, meaning prison, non-citizens, convicted criminals from all over the world are right now at large in the United States of America, with another 222,141 illegals with pending criminal charges, and these are serious criminal charges for murder, for drugs being sold all over the world where many people have been killed, because those are the ones they put in jail. We don't do that over here. We give them a fine. You know, every drug dealer kills at least 500 people. Each drug dealer, him or her, kills 500 people. We do nothing about it. We fine them. That's over 647,572 migrant criminals are in our country. It's a killing machine. It's a killing machine, and they're killing people all over our country. And Kamala said, remember, she said, oh, well, those people really don't kill like our criminals. No, no. These people make our criminals look like nice people. And I've been saying this from the beginning of the Harris-Biden disaster. It's no longer an administration, because what they've done to our country with this is inexcusable. I guess some egghead maybe said, oh, it's wonderful to release people, and it sounds so nice. We're releasing migrants into our country. But these are killers. These are people at the highest level of killing. They'd cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next morning. They won't even think about it. And these people are all over the place, and they're killing people. I could go through the stories, and I won't. But all over, sometimes I do. They come up, they grab young girls, and they slice them up right in front of their parents. Nobody who's allowed to do this, and nobody who's allowed this to happen to our country is fit to be the president of the United States. I mean that, too. I mean it. Anybody that's stupid. I've been saying this now for almost 4 years, because we built hundreds of miles of border wall. We had the best record at the border of any president of anybody, at least in recorded history. Tom Homan would get up. Brandon Judd gets up. They all get up and they say there's never been a president like Trump. But Tom Homan said it today. He said in his lifetime, we had the best border that we've ever had under Trump, and now we have the worst border that any country has ever had. But it's bad timing for Kamala. Nobody knows her as Harris. You ever use the name Harris? Say Harris. Nobody knows who the hell I'm talking about when I say Harris. It's true. You say Harris, they don't know who the hell I'm talking about. So I won't bother with the Harris. It's a nice name. I know a couple of people named Harris. But with her, you say Harris, they say, who is that? So we say Kamala. But it's bad time. She's incompetent. Have you seen her? She goes into an interview with Oprah, and she can't answer any questions. She can't answer any questions. This is bad timing for Kamala to show up today at the border. She didn't go there for 4 years. Now today she shows up, and these numbers got released. Somebody doesn't like her, I think. And the fake news. So I don't know, maybe she's already gone, I doubt it, but she's went to the border today. She wants to see if she could make up some lies, like she said about the border bill that Trump stopped. Let me tell you, number one, I didn't stop it. The senator stopped it. But that's the worst bill ever drawn. It's a waste of paper, and she doesn't need a bill. All she has to do is fly back to Washington and get this president that we have, if he's still president. I don't even know who the hell is president. Is he president? This is not exactly President Xi. He runs his country a little differently, although they do go after their political opponents pretty violently. I will say that. But they don't go after the murderers, the drug dealers. Get this guy to sign a little dot. You sign right over the little dots. And you sign your name, Joe Biden. And you say on it to Border Patrol, close the border. And they close the border. That's what I did. Our border is open. Our border is open. Nobody can believe it. And I've been saying that the people coming in, I know these leaders so street smart, and I would have been worse than them because actually Venezuela still has some people in their jails. I would have had everybody out into the United States. They probably ran out of buses and planes. But the rest of them are coming, don't worry about it. But all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world, they're coming from the Congo and Africa. A lot of people coming from the Congo and Africa. And these are serious criminals coming out of jails, mostly from jails. A lot of gang members, they take their gangs off the street. Like in Caracas, Venezuela, the criminals have all been brought to the United States. Their crime rate is down in Caracas. In fact, I suggest if I lose, I'll tell you what, it's possible, because they cheat. That's the only way we're going to lose, because they cheat. They cheat like hell. If we lose, the next time we're going to have the same group of people in Caracas, Venezuela, because it's much safer than any place in our country if she wins. Much safer. So let's go to Caracas. It was a very unsafe place. Now because in Venezuela, their crime is down 72% because they've taken their criminals, their gang members, their drug dealers, and they've brought them into the United States of America, and they're also releasing almost all of their prisoners. Soon the almost will be gone. Their prisons will be empty. Their mental institutions and insane asylums will be empty. They're dumping them in our country, and I never had proof. And those fake news reporters back there, they say, Trump, what would he know about that? What would he know? You know why? It's common sense. We're the party of common sense, by the way, just so you know. Common sense. So these numbers just came out. Nobody's ever seen these numbers for years. Nobody's ever seen them. And probably some patriot in ICE or somebody just did something. They just said the country's going bad. You can't have a country like that. We have, think of it, murderers, convicted murderers in prison for life. Many get the electric chair or they get whatever their form of death penalty. These are convicted people for life are now in our country. And I can finally look at them and see, I say, I told you so to the fake news. These are hard, tough, vicious criminals that are free to roam in our country. And now, for the first time, I can say it. And, I knew it before when you have open borders, but they're dumping everybody in here. I knew it before, but these numbers are actually worse than I ever thought. They should have been released far earlier so that we could have done something about it. I wish we had them 3 years ago, but we didn't. And now we have a problem, and you can't have her as your president. She doesn't know what the hell she's doing. She should resign in disgrace for what she's done to our country, not run for president. She was the border czar. She was the border czar. She was in charge. I don't even care about him. What the hell? No, he put her in charge, though. She was the border czar. Now she claims she wasn't the border czar, but she was in charge of the border. Call her what you want. 4 years ago, Kamala Harris inherited the most secure border in U.S. history. And as border czar, she then set the all-time record for illegal immigration into our country every single year. And many of these people were stone-cold criminals and murderers. She willfully and deliberately erased her own nation's borders, a crime so wicked as to defy description. As former ICE director and a great man, Tom Homan. Anybody know Tom Homan? Tom Homan, I say, is central casting for doing what he does better than anybody. Brandon Judd, Kuwaita. Oh, we have great people. These Border Patrol guys, I got to know them all. They're great. They want to do their job. They could sit back and let it happen. They go crazy. They see what's happening to our country, and they're not allowed to do the job. But as Tom Homan just said, just put it out, I've worked with 6 presidents. I know all about police work, and I know all about policies work. I know what policies don't work. President Trump was a game changer, and we saved thousands of lives by securing the southern border. Biden and Harris took the most secure border in my lifetime. This is from Tom Homan. And unsecured it on purpose. So he unsecured the border. They did. I don't know why. They want the votes, they're dumb, or they want to destroy the country. That could be the only 3 things. They're dumb, they want to just have people destroy our country, or they want the votes. You know, they're trying to sign these people up to vote. That's the all-time insult. They are working full-time to sign these people, many of them murderers, to vote so they can cheat on the election, because that's what they do. And they vote against bills. Any bill that wants to secure the vote, the Democrats in Congress fight like hell so they can't get passed. Who would want a bill that says bad things happen with the vote? You want to secure your vote, whether you're a Democrat. Interesting, a lot of Democrats, not the politicians, want to have that. And they don't want to have sanctuary cities, by the way. They don't want it. Only the politicians want it for certain reasons. President Trump, Tom Homan said, was the greatest president in my lifetime. Thank you, Tom. This country was never better off than when he was president. He was unprecedented in his success on the border, and it saved many lives. He was an out-of-the-box thinker, and he got the job done like nobody else could do the job. So that's from Tom Homan. Thank you. I might as well read it. I might as well tell you, because they'll never tell you that. They'll never tell you that, right? They'll never tell you that, Mike. By contrast, Kamala Harris betrayed her oath. She let our cities fail to violent gangs. She let our American sons and daughters be raped and murdered at the hands of vicious monsters. She let American communities be conquered. They're conquering your communities. You go out to Aurora in Colorado, where they're taking over with AK-47s. Real estate. They're in the real estate development business, just like me, except I never got to use guns to do it. They're taking over real estate. And Kamala turned cherished small towns into blighted refugee camps. And you take a look at what's happening in Springfield, Ohio, and the mayor is a nice man. In fact, I think he's an independent or a Republican. And he doesn't know what to do, and he doesn't know what to say. He wants to be nice. 32,000 people. You have 50,000 residents. Beautiful place, beautiful, nice town, no crime, no nothing. They now have 32,000 people dumped into the town, and he's trying to say, we're working very hard to make it comfortable for them. No, those people have to be taken out and brought back to the country from where they came. I'm sorry. The mayor said, we're looking for interpreters. It's so hard to find interpreters because nobody speaks English, right? So we're looking for interpreters. No. you're looking for people that will remove them and bring them back safely to their country. It's not fair. It's not sustainable by any country. What's happening to us in the United States, millions and millions of people, 21 million plus, have been dumped into the United States, and many of them are murderers. Many of them are horrible criminals. What Kamala Harris has done is unforgivable. It's a crime, what she did. It's got to be criminal. There's no greater act of disloyalty than to extinguish the sovereignty of your own nation, and that's what she's done. She's ruined our nation. She's ruined our nation. And, you know, I've always talked about this, and I've talked about it strongly, but I'm just realizing as I'm talking right now, and not even going off a teleprompter, because the teleprompter's not tough enough. I'm saying, and by the way, isn't it nice to have a president that doesn't need a teleprompter? Make America great again. But I've never had, thank you. Boy, what a group of people we have. It's a joke. We're laughed at all over the world for our leadership. But I just got this information, so I've never really spoken about this because this is the first time where we have these numbers with 13,000 convicted, jailed murderers, tougher than any of our criminals. We have only one good thing about this, is they make our criminals look like very nice people. These are hardened, horrible criminals, and we have to get them the hell out of our country because they're ruining the fabric of our country. Kamala is directly responsible for the tens of thousands of crimes committed by illegal migrants that she set free into our country. They didn't ask for a name. They didn't ask for a registration number. And many of them don't even have names or registration numbers. They just pour into our country. She has no idea where they're from parts unknown. She's responsible for every bloody crime scene, every funeral, every orphan child. And the great Mark Levin called me a little while ago and said, ask them, because he couldn't believe the numbers either. He said, ask them to ask Kamala, has she ever attended one funeral of the thousands and thousands of people that they've already killed? So I ask you that question. I give that to the fake news so that they can ask that question, because she's right now at the border giving a press conference. She doesn't give a press conference. She doesn't take questions. She'll make a little statement and then run away. She delivered these horrors. She unleashed these atrocities. And blood is on her hands at a level that probably nobody's ever seen in this country before. But on November 5th, Kamala Harris will be held accountable for these crimes. She will be sent back to California. And we will close the border. We will stop the invasion. We will begin the largest deportation operation in American history. And we have no choice but to vote. Have no choice. We have no choice. Our country's in trouble. Like, it's a mess. It's a mess, including the inflation that was caused by them by energy and by their spending. But the inflation caused by them by energy. Remember when energy went way down, the production after by the way, I got more votes than any sitting president in history. I was told if I got the same number of votes as the first time, 63 million, you can't lose, sir. We got many millions of votes more than that. Nobody's ever gotten more votes, sitting president. And they beat us by a whisker. It's the only thing they're good at. They're good at cheating in elections. They're good at nothing else, believe me. They're certainly not good at policy. By the way, she changed every policy. She had 15 policies that she changed. She was against fracking. She was against everything. And she changed everything because you couldn't get elected, right? And she was the last one. She was the last one online. You know, whether you like Biden or not, he got 14 million votes and he won the primaries. And then they came to him, Nancy Pelosi, crazy Nancy. She came to him. She's nuts. By the way, did you see yesterday, 2 days ago? So I'm not much into this stuff, but Visa crashed because the government went after. The government filed a big suit against Visa. Nancy and her husband sold their stock the day before it was announced. Nancy Pelosi. So why don't we get some AG somewhere like in a Republican territory? And why don't we get them to do a little investigation? Sold the Visa stock. Are you listening? They're probably turning off the cameras now. They don't want to report. The day before, the government announced a major investigation, the biggest there is, can't get worse, into Visa. They sold it the day before. It's amazing, isn't it, huh? I'm proud to say I think I'm the only politician that's lost. I've lost billions on it. I don't give a damn. I knew I'd lose a lot. I didn't know I was going to lose that much. I wanted to lose. I could have made a fortune. I could have been like Hunter, sell paintings for 500. I would have gotten much more. I'd say, you got to give me $5 million for that painting. I haven't painted before, but I have a lot of natural talent. I'm proud to say that, I mean, I'm not the only one, but I guess I figured I'd lose a lot, but I didn't know I was going to lose that much, but it doesn't matter to me because this is much bigger. This is a much bigger calling. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't care. Before going further, I want to send our love and support to all of the people in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, and all of the other states who have been really hit hard by that very large hurricane. That was that big one, a very large hurricane this week. We're with you all the way, and if we were there, we'd be helping you, and you'll be okay. 39 days from now, we're going to win Michigan. We're going to defeat Comrade Kamala Harris. He's a Marxist communist. And quite simply, we are going to make America great again. To make America great. So I didn't want to go off on a tangent, but I did want to bring up a little thing called crime. But we're really here today to talk about bringing jobs and manufacturing back to the great state of Michigan and really to our country, our whole country. And I want to thank, just met him, a great gentleman. He came here, he said, because of me in 2017. From the Netherlands, great guy, great successful businessman. Bodewijn Hauser, thank you very much. He's a big guy too, and his beautiful wife. Stand up, please, please stand up. Good looking couple. Good looking. Good man, right? Yes? They're all saying, they better say yes. They won't be here tomorrow if they don't. No, he's great. He's done a great job. He actually said he came here because of me. He came to the country because of me, opened this, and it was very successful. And I imagine still is, but he said it's a big difference now between the first days during the Trump administration for 4 years, 3 years that you were open during the Trump administration. Now he says the interest rates are way up and inflation has been very devastating, which it is for everybody, but we'll make it even more successful than the first 3 or 4 years you had, okay? Or more successful. And for generations, this state was the beating heart of American industry, and you gave the world General Motors, Ford, Chrysler, Dow Chemical, General Dynamics, and other giants of American industry and might, and then you see what's happened to so many of them because of stupid politicians largely, and stupid people that ran the companies into the ground. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. It doesn't take much. It only takes one bad executive at the top. But then foolish and corrupt politicians forced Michigan workers to watch as the jobs in the factories were leached from Grand Rapids and Detroit and Lansing and Flint and sent to foreign lands way far away, not only China in particular, but all over. But with your vote, we're going to reclaim America's manufacturing power. And basically, we're going to do what they do. We have to get the senators to agree. I think we have no problem with that, right? We're going to get the senators to allow us to do it. We're actually allowed to do it as president. We want to make it permanent. We're going to bring jobs, wealth, and pride back to Grand Rapids, back to Detroit, back to Milwaukee, and all throughout the Midwest. We're going to bring it back. And to our incredible auto workers here in Michigan, I'm pinpointing you for greatness. I'm pinpointing you because the industry has been decimated. And right now, as we speak, they're building big plants. They wouldn't do it when I was president. They're building big, giant auto plants in Mexico, owned and financed by China. And they think they're going to come out and they're going to build cars and they're going to sell them into our country and they're going to destroy Michigan and all these other places. Not going to happen because we'll put 100 to 200% tariff on every car coming across the Mexican border. And we'll tell them and we're going to be strong. The only way they'll get rid of that tariff is if you build the plant in the United States, not if you build it in Mexico. Which is what China and others do. If Elon wants to sell a car, by the way, Elon Musk gave his total endorsement. Elon, he gave me the greatest, beautiful, most beautiful. He said, we're not going to have a country left if Trump doesn't get in. And you know what I'm going to let Elon do? Unless you people disagree, I'm going to get Elon, and he's great at this. He's going to be our cost cutter. I think he could save trillions, right? He wants to do it so badly. I don't think I can get him full time because he's a little bit busy sending rockets up and all the things he does. But he's so much into that. He said the waste in this country is crazy, and we're going to get Elon Musk to be our cost cutter. He's going to do it for zero. He doesn't want anything. But he wants to see this country be great, and he'll do it. And having his endorsement is a great endorsement. We have some really great endorsements, I will tell you that, but we'll get him involved and mostly on that side of it, and it's going to be incredible what he'll be able to do without hurting anybody, just waste. It's waste, fraud, and abuse. Do you ever hear the expression waste, fraud, and abuse? You get rid of that, everybody lives much better. We have a country that's really strong again. If I'm not elected, you will have no auto industry. Your industry is being taken from you like candy from a baby. I see it happening with the all-electric, and I'll tell you, electric cars are wonderful, but not for everybody. I will end the mandate on day one for all electric cars. And there's a great place, and they have a place. Like Tesla and others, they're fantastic, but they have a place, but not for everybody. They don't go far, they cost more, and they're made in China mostly because that's where they have the materials. We have something that's even better. We have a thing called liquid gold under our feet, and we're going to use our liquid gold in the form of gasoline for our cars. Oil and gas, we have liquid gold. We have more liquid gold than any country anywhere in the world. We have more liquid gold, not even close. We have more than Russia. We have more than Saudi Arabia. We have more than anybody. You know, I approved something, Anwar. I got it done. Ronald Reagan couldn't get it done. I love Ronald Reagan, but he couldn't get it done. He tried so hard. It's in Alaska. It's one of the biggest finds maybe ever, maybe as big as Saudi Arabia. Nobody really knows, but it's in that category. One of the biggest in the world. I got it done. I worked my ass off and I got it done. And Biden came in. He didn't know what the hell he was signing anyway. And he terminated it. Can you believe this? This would have taken care of all of Asia, would have brought money in. We could have paid down our debt. We could have been Unbelievable. We would have reduced. I gave you the biggest tax cuts in history. I would have given you a bigger tax cut, and we still will. Biden rejected it. They ended it in his first day in office, but we'll get it done quickly. It was already passed by Congress. They didn't do that. They just ended it. And the people of Alaska aren't happy, but that's a national thing. And when you get into those numbers, that's national. Would have been so great for our country, but we'll get it done very quickly. Under my plan, American workers will no longer be worried about losing your jobs to foreign nations. Foreign nations will be worried about losing their jobs to America, because we're going to take a lot of those companies back, a lot of new companies coming in. I want German car companies to be American car companies. I want them to build their cars in this country, not in Germany. I want Asian electronics companies to become Michigan electronics companies. And I want every manufacturer that has left us to be filled with regret, and you're going to become racing back after we do what we're doing. And here is the deal that I'll be offering every major company and manufacturer all over the earth, and they're going to all come in because we're the pot of gold. But we're not going to be the pot of gold forever if we don't be careful. We're not going to be, it's going to end, and we're not going to let it end. We will give you the lowest taxes, the lowest energy costs, because we have the energy, the lowest regulatory burden. I cut regulations more than any other president in the history of our country. And we'll give you free access to the biggest and best market on the planet. That's us. But only if you make your product here in America and hire American workers. If you don't make your product here, then you will have to pay a tax or tariff when you send your product into the United States. And we will take in hundreds of billions of dollars into our treasury and use that money to benefit the American citizens. So with China as an example, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. No other president took in 10 cents. In fact, they left it on because they can't get it off, because it's taken in so much money that the Biden people, I'm sure he doesn't know about it too much, but the Biden people said, we can't get rid of these tariffs, they're making too much money. But what they're also doing, maybe more importantly, their cars aren't coming in, and they're not destroying Detroit and South Carolina and North Carolina and Georgia and all the other places that are involved with making autos and parts. They're not coming in, and we made a fortune on it. And now all we're doing is take interest in it. We were ready to do that. And then we had a little strange election result. We're not going to let that happen again. In my first term, I ended NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with the USMCA, the best trade deal ever made. I withdrew from the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership. By the way, if that deal would have been approved, it was negotiated by Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him, Barack Hussein? Remember Rush Limbaugh? Rush? We love Rush. He used to go, Barack Hussein Obama. Mr. Wall, would you please stand up? Look at this guy. I got to get a suit like that. He's a successful guy. He's been to 293 rallies. This isn't a rally. This is a workers' meeting talking about bringing our jobs back into the country, which will go so fast. But he's been great. Have I done a good job? Yes? You better say yes. That's it. Thank you very much. Great guy. I renegotiated Barack Obama's Korea trade deal, which was a disaster, to restore the protective tariff on foreign pickup trucks. You know, the pickup trucks is where the car companies make most of their money, because we put on a tariff and we kept the tariff, and therefore they can't compete with us in our country. And we actually make pickup trucks in this country. If that would have gone, called the chicken wire tax, if that would have gone out, you would not have any trucks being made in this country. I stood up to China like never before, placing a 27.5% tariff on all Chinese automobiles, saving the U.S. auto industry from total obliteration. The cars don't come in because they can't compete. And for furniture makers in North Carolina and other places, and in particular right now, a place called Grand Rapids. You know, I have great memories of Grand Rapids because I came to Grand Rapids, I made a speech, I went home, and we ended up winning the election in 2016, right? But I put a 22% tariff on Chinese furniture. They were destroying North Carolina. They were destroying your furniture areas where you have a lot, and just absolutely destroying. And you make better furniture, by the way. I bought a lot of furniture. I'd go down to with hotels. As I built hotels, I'd buy furniture. I'd go do it myself. People don't believe it. Well, you really buying furniture? Yeah, I'm buying furniture, a lot of it. But I'd go, and it was like North Carolina was the furniture capital of the world. And then it was decimated by China because politicians allowed that to happen. It should have never been allowed to happen. We're going to bring all those companies back, and then we're putting a tariff on China. We're selling their furniture here so that these people can make their furniture. They're better than anyone else. I bought some of that Chinese furniture, and people would sit down in a chair, and the chair would break, and they'd end up on their ass, and then they'd sue me. I never had that with North Carolina. I never had it with Grand Rapids. No, it's true.
Keep on fire!
This was not good. Ladies and gentlemen, the finest hotel in the world. They open, they end up getting a little damaged. They sit down to dinner at the beautiful dining table, and they end up getting damaged. Sir, you have a problem. The chairs break. That's a big problem. The centerpiece of my plan for a manufacturing renaissance will be a 15% made in America tax rate. So, pretty simple. So listen to how simple it is and how good it will be. It'll totally turn our country around, and we'll be a profit-making machine instead of a disaster like we are right now with $36 trillion in debt. So I brought the business tax rate from 39% or higher down to 21%. So I had it was 39, but it was actually 50 and over 50 if you include state and city taxes in some places, like hopefully New York is going to be able to reduce their taxes, but it was very high. So I brought it down from 39% down to 21%, all the way down to 21%. People said there's no way. I got it approved by Congress. Can you believe that? Now they're trying to, Democrats want to raise it, and they don't know. It's hard to say we want to. Would you please vote for me to raise the tax? They're going to raise it up to 39 or 40% or maybe even 50%. You better not let these people get in office. They're going to destroy what we built. And we did more business and created more jobs than ever before in history. With a 21% rate as opposed to a 39% rate, we took in more money, much more money, at the lower rate that we did because we had jobs like never before. We had business like never before. Maybe you came here because of that. That might be the reason, come to think of it. Thank you. You told me that. 2017, yeah, you probably came because of the tax and the one-year depreciation. And you buy something and you can depreciate. Oh, you are a smart one. You're a smart one. Come to think of it, I would imagine that's why. And we're doing that again, the one-year depreciation. You buy equipment and you're allowed to write it off first year. But what it does is create tremendous jobs. But now I'm doing a step further. I'm going to bring down the 21% to 15%, but only, and we will be the most competitive in the world. Don't forget, the world, like a gentleman like this can take his company and go to the Netherlands and go to a lot of other places. They all want your business. So if you start charging them too much, you're going to leave. They're going to say, that's a nice plant, bye-bye, because they're great business people. And they're going to go where they can get the deal. 15% will be almost as low as there is in the world. And yet, you got to remember, only if you manufacture your product right here in the USA do you get the 15% rate. So how cool is that? Michigan will be hotter than it ever was in its heyday. It'll be hotter than it ever was. You have to manufacture otherwise you stay at 21%, which is okay too. But if you manufacture your product here, you drop all the way down to 15%, making it just about as compelling as there is in the world. Some are a little bit lower, but it's not this country, but it'll be among the most competitive in the world. Then I'm imposing tariffs on your competition from foreign countries, which would come in and take your businesses as soon as you built them. And we're going to put tariffs on, so now you won't be able to worry about having somebody come in and steal your plant and steal your business and close your place and lose your workers, and the workers are out of jobs. All your car factories are going to be coming back. You'll have more jobs than you've ever had in this state. Your car industry will be as big relatively as it was 60 years ago when you were like dominant. It's not dominant anymore. This is why people in countries are all after Trump. This is why. You know, the only one that has shots fired at them, that throbbing feeling, right? The only one are consequential presidents. When I do these things, I've got a lot of enemies out there. I've got a lot of enemies. You know, Germany liked, as an example, Barack Hussein Obama better than me, even though the people actually like me much better. Because you know what? He didn't charge him anything. He let him rip off our country. All presidents let our country be ripped off, and that's why we're in the mess that we're in. But me, no. But that's why I have, to put it mildly, in particular, Iran. You know, don't forget, with Iran, they were the sponsor of terror like nobody else was the sponsor of terror. And they were broke under the Trump administration, because I put all sorts of sanctions on. I put all sorts of countries couldn't buy their oil, or they couldn't do business in the United States. And all I wanted was one thing, because I wasn't looking to hurt them. I know many Iranian people. They're great people, very smart people. But I didn't want them to have a nuclear weapon. They can't have a nuclear weapon. Very simple ask. You can do whatever you want. You're going to be strong. You're going to get big and beautiful. Can't have a nuclear weapon and destroy the world. Can't have it. You can't have a nuclear weapon. The power of nuclear is so monumental. You just can't let that happen. And it wasn't going to happen. And there was no Hezbollah that was getting money. They had no money. Hamas had no money. The terror groups, 28 different terror groups, had no money. Nobody had any money. And during the 4 years of the Trump administration, we had no terror. We had no wars against other countries, expensive, never-ending, stupid wars like we had under other presidents. I won't say which one, including Republicans, including Republican presidents, right? Goes in, blows out the Middle East, blows up the Middle East, comes back, you get nothing except death. You get death all over the place, death and hatred. Actually, they should like me more than anybody ever, but you had no wars under Trump except I defeated ISIS, which had already begun. I defeated ISIS, took 100% of the ISIS caliphate, 100%. I was told it was going to take 5 years. I did it in 4 weeks. We have the greatest military in the world, but you have to understand, you can't be so politically correct. But we did it in 4 weeks. ISIS was gone, 100% of the ISIS caliphate. And some of you have had the story, but I don't have enough time to tell you the story because I have to be someplace else making the same damn speech in a little while. I'll tell you the story the next time. I promise. I'll tell you the story, Mike, the next time. Will you come up here, Mr. Senator? Come up here real fast. Come on. I got to get you up. This is a man who's going to be one of the best senators, toughest senator, and great for you. And I hear your poll numbers are looking good. Will you say a quick hello so I don't have to go through this process in 15 minutes?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. Well, thank you, Mr. President, for being here. How about that? And I can tell you, I'm looking at his teleprompter. He's not even close to watching that teleprompter. But I want to tell you this, Mr. President. One thing we know here in Michigan, with your plans to make sure that border is secure, with your plans to make sure the tax rate allows us to be competitive, with your plan to make energy independent here in America and bring down our gas prices and our cost of groceries, these folks right here were ahead of you. There is more common sense on that dais than there is in every committee room back in Washington, D.C. And I'll give you a little, we had some hot off the press information yesterday, Mr. President. 5,000 auto dealers. Your opponent, Kamala Harris, has been saying really wasn't an EV mandate. 5,000 auto dealers who are feeling the heat from this EV mandate said, nope, you're killing our business, you're killing the automobile industry, you must end the EV mandate. With you in Washington, we're going to get that done. Thanks for being here, Mr. President.
He's doing great. You got to vote for him. He's doing great. And Tudor, thank you very much. Great job. You did a great job this morning on television. I appreciate it very much. Nice things. Tudor Dixon, everybody. Thank you very much. But if Kamala Harris gets in, every single manufacturing job in this state is going to Mexico or going to China. And Mexico is a very big threat, by the way. First of all, the tax queen, that's Kamala, is demanding a 33% tax hike on all domestic production, way up. It's going to be much higher than that, by the way. Next, she wants the largest capital gains tax in the history of our country. And then she's promising a brand new wealth confiscation tax called unrealized capital gain. That means that if your company's doing great and your company's gotten really valuable, but you might be a little tight on cash and you have no intention of selling your company, you do an appraisal of what your company is worth, and you have to pay a tax on it. So now you go to a bank and you borrow the money, and your company goes out of business, and that's the end of your company. Can you imagine that? Unrealized. In other words, you don't sell. Your company got more valuable, and you're putting more and more money into your company, and that's okay. There are a lot of people who have great wealth, and they don't have cash. Those people are wiped out, and it'll cause a depression like in 1929. Other than that, I think it's quite a good idea. Crazy. This person, crazy. You know, her father is a Marxist professor of economics. That's what she is. She's a Marxist. And we are not ready for a Marxist, and we will never be ready for a Marxist or a communist president, which is what she is. And, you know, we're leading in the polls. We're doing great, but you know, when you see we're leading by 2 points, 3 points, we should be leading by 50 points. We should be, how the hell? No, really, you would really say, why would anybody vote for her? She's destroying our country. What she did, outside of the nuclear disaster that these people will get us into, World War III, what she did on the border with these millions of murderers and criminals coming into our country, what she did on the border is the worst thing I think I've ever heard. I've never heard of anything like it. Never made sense. You're trying to figure out, you know, in business, you always like to figure out your opponent. What does he want? What are they doing? What does she want? What are they doing? And you want to figure it out. Here, you can't figure it out. Like, why do they want open borders? Why do they want men playing in women's sports? Why does Kamala want to give transgender operations to convicted illegal migrants coming in and staying in detention cells? She said, we will give them sex change operations. Now, somebody would look at me and say, that's crazy. I'm sure that that's not true. No, it's 100% true. She wants to give them, they're in a detention cell, and a man wants to transition into womanhood. And she is willing to do that and give very expensive operations, by the way, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But if you want that, she will give you a transgender operation. Are we crazy? Are we crazy? Now, how about, and also all of these people. She wants to defund the police. You know, she is one of the originals for defund the police. I say anybody that wants to defund the police is not qualified and shouldn't be allowed to even run for president of the United States. It's crazy. Comrade Kamala Harris also voted for a bill to impose a 100% ban on gas-powered cars and trucks, killing an estimated 200,000 U.S. auto jobs, including 40,000 auto jobs in Michigan, a death sentence for the Michigan economy. On day one, I will terminate Kamala's electric vehicle mandate, have to terminate it. And remember, the electric car has a great place, but not for everybody. Okay? Not for everybody. No state in America will be permitted to ban gasoline engines. You want gasoline, nice clean gasoline. We have the best, we have the most. You know, we want to use something that China has that we don't. It's crazy, right? They have certain minerals, they have control of what you need for the batteries, and we really don't, but we will have. A lot of what we have is stopped because of the environment. We have the minerals, but we don't have the environmental impact statements, but we'll make sure that that's going to go very quickly. We'll be able to do things that you never even thought. The only good thing about what happened with this 4-year disaster is that the people will understand when we fix our country. They'll be much more understanding than they would have been if we just went straight ahead and did it. Because this country has never been laughed at like a bunch of dopes. It's never been laughed at like it is right now. If Kamala wins, she will take your cars, take your money, take your guns. She wants to confiscate all guns, you know that. She just changed. That's one of the 15 policies that she changed. You know, she was totally in favor of taking everybody's, confiscating your gun. She changed that when she looked at some polls. The polls weren't looking too good. But they always revert back. Remember, she wants to take your economic opportunity, and she will absolutely kill the American dream for your children. You know, this country used to be about the American dream. They don't talk about that. They talked about it 4 years ago like never before, and they'll talk about it after November 5th. They're going to talk about the American dream. If I win, we will bring back the American dream, bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. So we're pleased to be joined with a few people. You just met Mike Rogers, and I wanted to have him up here separately because I will tell you, this guy is going to be a great senator. I picked him even though he wasn't always particularly nice to me. He was paid a lot of money to say bad things about me, and that's okay. I fully understand it. But he's been great, and he's got great gravitas, and I think he might even be leading in the poll by a little bit. He's tough as hell, and he's good, and he's got the whole deal going. And I had a lot of choices. I had choices of people that were lovely to me, so nice, but I wanted to pick somebody that could be, number one, a great senator, number two, could win. And I just want to thank you. You've been really working hard, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate Tudor Dixon very much also, job you've done. And I think we have somebody here that I really have known for a long time and liked, and he's got a lot of good ideas. He's got a lot of good ideas.
Thank you, Mr. President.
To women's health and health generally and the environment. I'm going to watch him a little bit on the environment, though, if you don't mind. Health, I don't think I'm going to watch him much at all because he's really good. So is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. here? Where is he? Where is he? He's here someplace. I know he's here someplace. RFK Jr. And he's a big part of what we're doing. And he does have great ideas. And getting a Kennedy to endorse a Trump Republican, that was a big deal, right? Good deal. He's a good man. He's a good man, and he's doing a real job, and he really does have some amazing views, to my way of, especially on health of people. Representatives John Molinar, where's John? He's around here. So, hi, John. Good job you're doing. Very good. Simple job in Congress, isn't it, John? Great job. Bill Heisinger. Bill, thank you, Bill. Good job. Looking good. Thank you, Bill. Great job. Jack Bergman. Jack, thank you, Jack. You got warriors. You got warriors here. Tim Wahlberg. Tim, thank you. Those people are so tremendous, the way they fight in Congress for you. Some don't. I mean, I will tell you, I could name some that won't, but I get myself into a lot of trouble. I'd name some Republicans that don't, but that group of people, they're warriors, so you're lucky to have them, and we're lucky to have you on my side, and thank you all very much. I've endorsed all of them, but they're great. Thank you very much, fellas. Real warriors. Michigan Senate Republican leader, Eric Nesbitt. Eric? Thank you, Eric. Good job. How are we doing? I hear good? Good. He said we're winning. That's good. We got to win. By the way, we win Michigan, we win the whole thing. Like in 2016. But you got to vote. Also, House Republican leader Matt Hall. Matt. Thank you, Matt. Good. Good job. Thank you very much. Really good job. So I just want to thank them, but I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been great. We have early absentee mail-in voting in your state. Starts this week. And if you have your ballot, return it as soon as possible. And if not, get a ballot. Go out and get a ballot. Get as many Trump supporters as you can. You have a lot of people that sit back on the side. They agree with us. They agree with everything. What's not to agree? We want to stop people from killing everybody, you know? We have pretty basic policies, right? Low taxes, good education, strong border, all these different things, common sense things. We don't want to have, you know, in the Olympics, I don't know if you saw that, in the Olympics, I didn't even realize that they have women now, boxers, right? They're boxing for women. And a young, beautiful woman from Italy was boxing a person that transitioned. I've got the language perfect, because if I say it a little bit incorrectly, it could mean the end of my campaign. We have to be extremely careful. Like if you dare to say, gee, that's a beautiful woman, you say it very nicely. That's the end of your campaign. You're out of politics. You have to be very careful. So I never see beauty anymore. I never see beauty. But you have this young woman from Italy, and she's fighting, and she's a champion fighter against women. And she's fighting in the first match of the Olympics. And she happens to get unlucky enough to meet somebody who transitioned from male to female.
Those French cigarettes.
The Olympics. Two people did. Two people were able to get in. By the way, I don't want to upset the story, but they each won a gold medal, okay? Different weight classes. Two people transitioned from male to woman. Each one won the gold medal. But this young Italian girl, she's in there. She's going to show her mom how good she is. She's going to say, I don't care if he transitioned, Mom. I'm so tough. I can take her. I can take her. And she gets up and she puts up her fist. And he goes, for those that don't know too much about boxing, but I love it. I love UFC. I love Dana White. Has Dana White done a great job? Dana White, what a job. But she puts up her, and you know, a left is sort of to keep them away. She gets hit with a left, just a little dumb. Whoa. She looks around. Holy much, I just got hit by a horse. Goes back to her corner. Said, I've never seen this before. I've watched a lot of this stuff. And goes back to her corner, and they say, go out there, you can do it, go out there. Okay, I'll go out. It's like, what does Mike Tyson say? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? This is what happened to this young, beautiful lady. Beautiful lady. So she goes out, And she gets ready to go again. Boom, he hits her again. And she quits. She said, I can't get it. I've never been hit that hard. This was just like a little defensive punch. He ends up going on to win the gold medal. And another transitioned person won the gold medal. There were two of them, and they both won gold medals. In weightlifting, you got to see this. And for many, many years, they had a certain weight that stayed the same, and they'd put 1/8 of an ounce on one side, 1/8 of an ounce on the barbells, right, Mike? And they couldn't quite do it. The best female weightlifters. A guy comes along. Have you lifted before? They ask him or her. And he goes, not much, but a little bit. And he goes up to that barbell. Boom. Bing, 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 bing. And swimming, the same thing. The young lady, you saw this. She looks left and she sees all these beautiful athletes that she's swum against for 15 years. Beautiful, beautiful swimmers. She looks to the right, she sees the same thing, but next to her is a giant. A giant. He's got the reach of Wilt Chamberlain. Does anybody know? Wilt the Stilt, said to have the longest reach in history. He could dunk a ball without even leaving he'd dunk a ball like this. He wouldn't even jump. But she looks at this guy's giant. And she never saw this. And they say, on your mark, get set, go. And she jumps, he jumps, everybody jumps. And as you know, she was badly injured. You know what happened to her, right? I told the story before. Windburn. He went by her so fast that she was horribly hurt. The windburn was horrible. No men playing women's sports. Very, very degrading to women. Right? You agree, Mike? So just to finish up, starting on day one, we will end inflation and make America affordable again. We will have no tax on tips. No tax on tips. And boy, this is good for you, because I know exactly where you make your money. I used to have to pay that damn overtime. It would cost a fortune. No tax on overtime. And no tax on Social Security for seniors. Because you've been devastated. You've been devastated by inflation, seniors. For the seniors, no tax on Social Security benefits. So that's it. And by the way, I want to explain something. The people that you see leaving, because nobody ever leaves. And when they do, I finish up quick, believe me. But I couldn't take pictures at the beginning. So I take them at the end sometimes. If I'm late, the plane gets late, you get delayed, lots of things happen. There's a little hurricane going on in Florida, as you know. And so what they do is they say, oh, please come up now at the end of my speech. I said, don't do that. Because it looks like they're leaving, like your husband who owns this place. He's not leaving, he likes Trump very much. He made a lot of money because of Trump, right? Right? But these stupid people that are with me sometimes, they say, come on back. 30 people, they get up and they go back, and they're all lined up in the back waiting for me to take a picture because I couldn't do it before. Because they didn't want to keep you waiting because you're much more important than the wealthy people back there. You're much more important to me than those people. He said, don't do that anymore, but they don't learn their lesson. But we are going to be late for something, but who cares? And while working Americans catch up, we're going to put a temporary cap on credit card interest rates at 10%. Some people are paying 24%. You can't do it. So we're going to have a temporary cap on credit card, 10%. I will settle the war in Ukraine. I met with President Zelensky today. I had a good meeting. We had a great news conference afterwards. She met with him, I guess, yesterday. She didn't have a news conference because she can't do a news conference. She can't answer any questions. She's never going to make a settlement, believe me. And I will end the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent World War III, something I can do that nobody else is going to be able to do. I know them all. We will rebuild our cities, including Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again. We will keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. And right now, with these really stupid people we have running our government, it is under tremendous threat from losing its status as the world's reserve currency. If that happens, that's like losing a war. In many ways, it's worse. This is how we will end the era of inflation, mayhem, misery under Kamala and Crooked Joe, and unleash safety, prosperity, and peace for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. We're going to do it, and we're going to do it fast. You're going to have businesses flowing back to Michigan. Together, we will deliver low taxes, low regulations, low energy costs, low interest rates, and low inflation so that everyone can afford the basics. It's called a car, groceries, and a home. Right now, you can't buy groceries. You can't buy anything. They're up so much, 50, 60, 70, 80%. We will stop the invasion, end migrant crime, support our police, strengthen our military. And I already rebuilt the military. They gave about $85 billion to Afghanistan, right? How about that one? In addition to losing 13 beautiful soldiers whose families I got to know and love and respect. And we left a lot of people behind. And you know, very importantly, we gave up a big Air Force base that cost us billions of dollars, named Bagram, billions of dollars, 1 hour away, forget Afghanistan, 1 hour away from where China builds its nuclear weapons. And we gave that up. These stupid people gave that up. You know who's occupying it now? China is occupying that base. Can you believe it? We're going to build a missile defense shield, much of it built in Michigan. We're going to keep critical race theory and transgender insanity out of our schools. And no men in women's sports again. We will defend the Second Amendment, restore free speech, and we will secure our elections. We are going to make our elections safe and secure. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive, and every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. But for that to happen, we must defeat Comrade Kamala Harris, and we must stop her country-destroying liberal agenda once and for all. She's beyond liberal, by the way. Early absentee voting is underway, so go vote right now. You can do it right now. We want a landslide that is too big to rig, right? Too big to rig. And on November 5th, we will save our country. We will save our economy. It will go down as the most important day, November 5th, in the history of our country. We will rescue our middle class. We will reclaim our sovereignty and restore our borders. We will always put America first. We have to put America first. We will take back our country, and together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy with Bobby again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. We will make America free again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, Michigan. God bless you. God bless you. Go out and vote. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Go out and vote.
Well, there you hooligans have it. It's President Trump live here in Michigan. He's going to be live later today, too. Let me go ahead and read you the schedule. 6 p.m. Eastern time today, which is a little less than 2 hours, President Trump is expected to host a town hall in Warren, Michigan, which I don't know exactly where that is. This has got to be by Detroit. Either way, we will be covering that live. After President Trump is no longer on the screen, we will be moving forward to what we have on the schedule for Coffee with Hooligans. We'll be starting off with a video titled, Trump, the War Has to End. Ukraine has gone through hell. It's a video of President Trump and Zelensky talking about what they were meeting about and all of that stuff. Then we have a video titled, The Right Squad. The children are being manipulated politically. They interview children to see what they think about politics, and they know more about politics than they should know. They're just kids. They shouldn't know anything about politics, but because of the way parents are and, well, the fact that they've injected politics into everything, it's kind of hard to separate that. Then we have a video titled, This is the Biggest Problem Facing Mayor Adams. Updates on what's going on with Eric Adams and all of that. President Trump's no longer on the screen, by the way. But anyways, a little follow-up on Eric Adams, his downfall. What I think is really interesting about that video is they finally have said what we've been saying for, I don't even know how long. 6 months, maybe more than that. Eric Adams came out and said the only reason that they're going after him is because he turned his back on Biden when it came to the border crossers. I swear to God they watched the live. They gotta watch the live. There's no way they're just saying exactly what I've been saying. But they're giving it a try. Then we have a Tulsi Gabbard video. It's titled, This is the latest example of America Last. They're talking about how President Trump has to be forced to a smaller venue because they don't have enough Secret Service to cover him while he's in Wisconsin. Apparently there's some foreign diplomats here, and I guess we provide Secret Service to all of them, and somehow they're more important than President Trump is. And so because of lack of security, he has to take a smaller venue now at his upcoming rally in Wisconsin. And people are saying that's election interference because they're preventing him from reaching as many people as he would have been able to if they could have supplied enough Secret Service. Like I keep saying, President Trump needs his own protection. Secret Service isn't doing it. Let me see. Then we have a video titled, Biden Order Hopes to Curb 3D Guns and Machine Gun Conversions. This is a follow-up from yesterday. We had we played a short video discussing Old Man Walter. He was supposed to be making an executive order. It hadn't happened yet. Well, now it's happened. We have the details on it, so we're going to cover that. Then we have two funny videos of the day. The first one is a deleted scene from that video that we're going to cover showing kids knowing more about politics than they should. And it's a good one. And then our official funny video of the day is titled The Oval Office. All of that's coming up next, but first we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about President Trump as he was just live on stage. Let me see, Snooks. What am I looking for? Oh, yeah, you're toast. You're toast. Thanks for letting me know, Snooks. What an idiot. Coming over to Rumble to use bad words. What are you gonna do? Report my live? Good luck, buddy. It's all free speech over here. I don't have to call you a French cigarette. I can call you your name right to your face in the chat if you want. Anyways. Hair Juicer, I'm surprised you got signal where you are too. I hope you have a ton of fun today. I want to go to a music festival so damn bad. So bad. DCat, I thought this was the funny video of the day. I'm working on it, DCat. I'm working on it. And my audio meters still don't work, so it looks like I'm muted, but obviously I'm not. Problems. I'll never have a day without them. Era 16, Cuckoo Camilla. Yeah. True American Wear in Wisconsin. Let me look it up really quick. I'll see if I can find it. I think the Butler, Pennsylvania rally is coming up pretty soon too. I think it might be next week. Oh, let me see. Scheduled for the 28th. So tomorrow, President Trump is to, let me pull the live up. Deliver remarks in, oh man, why do you guys gotta name your cities like this? Is it Prairie du Chien? I don't know what that word is. I'm going to put it on the screen. You guys will read it your damn self. You can't even see it. I don't know what this is. Right here. I don't know what that word is. Prairie du Chien. I don't know. She better be pretty, though, with a name like that. Anyways, that's where President Trump will be tomorrow. He will be speaking at 12:30, so better put that on tomorrow's schedule right away. Be covering that live tomorrow as well. I think that is the only Trump live tomorrow, though. So he'll be a part of Coffee with Hooligans Free Speech Saturday, so definitely look forward to that. I do not think we're going to be able to do the voice chat today over on the website now that I'm looking at everything. Because like I said, we have President Trump again in less than 2 hours. If this drags out enough, we might just cover Trump again during Coffee with Hooligans. We'll see. We'll see. Russell, what did he say? I'll tell you in a second, Russell. True American, Eric Adams, the Democrat. Welcome to the MAGA Trump Republican Party. That's right, True American. Full Man Walter is going to throw Eric Adams under the bus. That's fine. He can vote for Trump. All Democrats can vote for Trump. I won't even tell anybody. I won't tell anybody. Just go ahead and vote for Trump. You know that's the right answer. You can go ahead and keep pretending to be blue, and, you know, you already whacked your wiener off. So, hey, just go ahead and vote for Trump. It'll be fine. True American. Yeah, I know nobody that can read that city. It's too far from me and I'm busy. Yeah, True American. Cashflow, you're going to see Bone Thugs and Harmony tonight? That's cool. I've seen them perform with Snoop Dogg and Warren G, and that's how I met Lazy Bone, because I have a song with Lazy Bone. Hope you have a good time, Cashflow. They were pretty good last time I saw them, and that was 2018, I think, is when I went and saw them in Grand Rapids, where President Trump was just talking about. What's up, Cheeky Chops? Happy freedom. What's up, Proud Patriot Girly? Welcome back to the live. All right, hooligans, let's do the thing. Let's do the thing. Russell, what are you talking about? Russell's like, I bet she's got a nice tongue. I agree, Russell. I don't know what you're talking about, but I agree. Now, before we get into this, if you guys would like to join the website, right now is the time to do it. Go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. That way you can watch it live, you can post in Hooligans Alley, you can hang out with all the hooligans in the group chats, and normally you'll be able to join us Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Time in the voice chat, which is a lot of fun. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. Go ahead and get into this first video here with President Trump and Zelensky, who owes us a lot of money, or they're the 51st state. It's one or the other. Anyways, it is titled, "The War Has to End. Ukraine has gone through hell," says President Trump. Now, before we get into this, I got to remind you guys, we have these outraged hooligan t-shirts. It says, if you are not outraged, you are not paying attention. This design was made by Alistair because he's such a badass. This design comes in shirts for men, shirts for women, tank tops for men, tank tops for women, pullover hoodies, zipper hoodies, coffee mugs, stickers, and dog tags. Today I got on the Happy Freedom t-shirt. Like I said, we got all kinds of items and designs on the merch store. I will drop the link in the chat while we're watching this first video.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to have the president with us. And he's been through a lot. He's been through a tremendous amount, like probably nobody else, almost nobody else in history, if you really get right down to it. And we're going to have a discussion and see what we can come up with. But great honor to have you with
Thank
us.
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Thank you so much for this meeting. Five years passed.
Yeah.
So we had meeting again here in New York in September, and now there are a lot of challenges in Ukraine, United States, and of course I want to discuss with you. I think where we are together, I think we have common view that the war in Ukraine has to be stopped and Putin can't win, and Ukrainians have to prevail, and I want to discuss with you the details of our plan of victory.
My honor.
Thank you so much.
Thank Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have a question for the president? Anybody?
Why did you decide to meet?
I think it's me or
Both of
to
you.
both us. Okay, thank you so much. First of all, it's very important to share all the plan, all our steps, how we can strengthen Ukraine. And of course, we have to decide it now, because after November, we don't know who is. Only Americans decide who will be the president. But we understand that till November, we can't stop Putin. We have to do it. We will try on the battlefield with our heroic soldiers, but we understand that after November, we have to decide, and we hope that the strength of United States will be very strong, and we count on it. That's why I decided to meet with both candidates with all honor to them. Thank you.
Mr. President. Yeah, Mr. President Trump. So what are your expectations about this meeting? So what I expect to hear from the President Zelensky, and what are your expectations?
Say it a little louder.
What are your expectations from this meeting? What do you expect to hear from Mr.
Nothing.
President?
Look, this is a meeting, and we have a big race going on right now. I guess 37 days left, and we're leading in the polls, and so we'll see how it all works out. Hopefully it'll work out, but if it does, we're going to work very much with both parties to try and get this settled and get it worked out. It has to end at some point. It has to end. He's gone through hell, and his country has gone through hell like few countries have ever, like it's happened anywhere. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. It's a terrible situation. And I will say I have had a great relationship. It was very honorable. I don't even know if you know this, but when they did the impeachment hoax, it was a hoax, just a Democrat hoax, which we won. But one of the reasons we won it so easily is that when the president was asked, it was over a phone call with the president, and he said he could have grandstanded and played cute, but he didn't do that. He said, President Trump did absolutely nothing wrong. He said it loud and clear, and the impeachment hoax died right there. He could have said, well, I don't know, I don't know. And I never even told you this, to be honest, but he was like a piece of steel. He said President Trump did nothing wrong. We had a very nice call. He congratulated me on his victory. He just won. I remember that. He could have played cute, and he didn't play.
Zelensky looks scared and shady at the same
So we have
time.
a very good relationship. And I also have a very good relationship, as you know, with President Putin. And I think if we win, I think we're going to get it resolved very quickly. I really think we're going to get it
I
resolved.
hope we have more good relations.
We're going to have. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, it takes two to tango. You know, and we will. We're going to have a good meeting today. And I think the fact that we're even together today is a very good sign. And hopefully we'll have a good victory, because if the other side wins, I don't think you're going to have victories with anything, to be honest with you. So we're going to sit down, just discuss it, and if we have a win, I think long before January 20th, before I would take the presidency, it's January 20th, but long before that, I think that we can work out something that's good for both sides. It's time. And by the way, the president knows that too. He wants to get something done. He doesn't want to do this. And so we look forward to having them meet. I look forward to being with him.
Well, that's President Trump and gay-ass Zelensky over there. That was earlier today. Then President Trump came to Michigan to do whatever you want to call that he just did, that live event. And then we're going to be covering him again, like I said, an hour and a half. President Trump is the busiest guy I know. Coming from a busy guy, President Trump is a busy guy. Next up, we have Chris Plant, the Right Squad. I don't know what the hell that is. The children are being manipulated politically. Like I said, these individuals went and interviewed some children. I mean, children. I ain't talking about dumbass 20-year-olds, doing meth and hanging out in Portland. I'm talking about some children. And they know more about politics than they should. Now, it's not like they're campaigning or anything, but it is kind of weird to see children have political opinions. Because when I was a kid, I didn't know anything about politics, and these are little kids. And so I don't know, it's kind of weird. And then the video's not weird. It's just pointing out that life is really weird right now. And then there's a little bit of a discussion about it. So that's what's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat and see what you hooligans think about President Trump and Zelensky meeting each other. Well, I don't think it was the first time they met each other, but they were at a meeting and whatnot, and the reporters were too stupid to even ask questions. They're like, Mr. President, da-da-da. And then they just started like, is it you or is it me? It's like, sorry, the reporters got their head so far up their ass, they're not sure who they're asking questions to, but that's okay. Anyways, we're going to read through the chat, and we'll get on to these kids knowing a little bit too much about politics. Breeze by you, President Trump is the Energizer Bunny. I'm convinced. He just keeps going and going. Russell, I've never seen flying Mexican cars. I don't know if I have any flying vehicle I've ever seen. I never stopped to think who made it. America made it. That's just writing it off. America made it. Zero, I saw a car flying Mexican flags today. Pisses me off. Yeah, Zero, I know they were doing that. I'm trying to think what it was. There was something going on where in New York they were all waving Mexican flags and stuff like that, and people were getting pissed off about it. I don't know about all that stuff. I feel like if they care so much about that country, they should go back and live there. It doesn't make sense to come here to live the American dream and then wave your home flag. I don't know. I feel conflicted about that because it is your home, right? But to to wave it in a different country seems a little different. If you had to post it up in your house or whatever, right? It's a representation of your culture. Okay, but going around waving the flag, I feel like it sends the wrong message. But at the same time, if they're here legally, they have the right to do that. If they're not here illegally, then they should get the fuck out. That's how it should go. Zero, it was good that they met. I think so too. I think it's more useful for Zelensky to meet President Trump than it is to meet anybody in the White House for two different reasons. President Trump actually gets shit done, and President Trump doesn't have access to tax dollars to write him an $8 billion check. So it seems like a win-win to have him go meet President Trump because they can work on getting shit done and he doesn't have to bribe him with cocaine money or anything like that, you know? President Trump's like, look, buddy, we're gonna need things to go like this. Otherwise, we're gonna be the ones inside your country, and you don't want these problems. He's like, yeah, you're right. Plus, President Trump's like a foot taller than him. That's why I was looking all scared and shit. He's standing right next to the Orange Eagle. What's up, Amarane? Happy freedom. Amarane. Well, I think the kids are probably influenced by what they hear from their parents, but it is interesting to hear them talk politics. Yeah, Amarane, and that's kind of the vibes from the video. You guys will see when we get into this video. It does sound like they are parroting their parents. They're just repeating things they've heard. Like, oh, we need the first black woman president, stuff like that. What kind of 8-year-old cares about shit like that? None, unless they've been influenced from, the outside. And it's kind of sad, but at the same time, we all feel it. Can't watch a movie or go out to eat or do anything without having politics, just shoved down our throat, and it's so annoying. And it used to only be during election years. Now it's just 24/7. But either way, I feel bad for kids when it comes to that kind of stuff. You guys are writing paragraphs over here on Twitch. Mark, most CIA assets look scared and shady. Well, Zelensky, he's like the poster child. He looked like he was on the verge of shit in his pants. Just that look in his face, he's like, I'm trying to keep it in, but it depends on how many reporters are going to ask questions and whether or not they're talking to me or President Trump. This looked like he was holding in a fart. I don't know. It was looking rough. Let's see. Alright, hooligans, we'll just get into this next video. Like I said, it is titled, The Children Are Being Manipulated Politically. This is something else. And like I said, they have a little discussion thing after they show you the interviewed children. And don't forget about this story because one of our funny videos is related to this. It's a deleted scene that's not included in this video. And that makes it extra funny. So anyways, let's get into this. Once again, it is The Children Are Being Manipulated Politically. Now let's get this rolling, but don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
About whether or not it was time for the U.S. to elect a woman, most said yes, but were varied as to why.
So do you think it matters more to voters that she's a woman or that she's a person of color?
I don't really care about what color she is. I just care about the personality and what she wants to do.
It'd be good for us to have a black woman as president for the first time in history. Yeah. But my vote's kind of still on Trump.
I don't think it matters. I think she can be a president like Biden or Obama.
I just feel like boys would probably be better as president, but she's pretty and stuff, but I just don't think a woman would be right for a president. They would be much better of an example for president and more stronger.
Do you think you'd ever make a good president someday?
No.
There's never been a woman president in the history of America. I think that it'd be a good change.
I do love the honesty of the kids, Hilton. I mean, this is something that just listening to them, they have all these different opinions. Yeah. I mean, what do you think?
I know what I love about this is kids haven't figured out about cancel culture yet. So, and they also can't be canceled as a child. So, no, I think what we're hearing right now is it's just this pure honesty. But what makes me sad is that parents, you can tell the parents that have really influenced their kids because most kids, they don't care about skin color. They don't care what you look like, what sex you are. They really just want to put forward a president, if they really know what a president is, that they like, and that was really sweet. And you could tell.
I really try to keep politics out of my neighborhood, and it's interesting because I want to talk about the dog or the kids or the grandkids, and some of our neighbors will not deal with us because of who we are, being Republicans, which I find that to be horrifying. And then I see my kid who came to me one time and said, "Hey mom, so and so won't come to the house because the parents say that dad and you are just horrible people because you support Trump." And I think that's so horrific. I mean, I really try to separate the politics and my life with my kids, because I don't want my kids necessarily to be defined okay, these are the people that are, the parents are associated with Trump.
They're messing with horrible. It's an innocence. They're infiltrating hatred into a young child. And what I think is most horrific about this is a lot of these parents are okay with transing their kids. If their kids decided that they wanted to be a different gender and they wanted to start taking puberty blockers and whatnot, they would be fine with that. And that's not evil. But because you like Trump, then that person's evil.
That's horrible.
But Mercy, didn't you say that you wouldn't want your daughters to date a liberal?
I said marry one. That's a little different.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't think they could survive in the Schwab household if they're
values.
liberal. It doesn't mean that they don't have
That might be out of respect for the liberals.
I was just asking a question.
Yeah, well, I mean, marriage is a little more serious, but they bring their liberal friends to the house. But when you have a parent say, no, you cannot go there because their parents are awful people because they support Donald Trump, I would never do that to someone to say, you can't go there because they're awful people because they're supporting Harris. Yeah. I think that's ridiculous. Chris, Uncle Chris, what would you say?
You, of course, don't want them marrying liberals because they, be carjackers and drug dealers.
No. Yeah, they just don't share our values, but it doesn't mean they can't be friends with my kids.
Racist, yeah, sure. Well, no, it used to be perfectly ordinary, even not so long ago, that everybody go out drinking together, Democrats and Republicans, and if you worked on Capitol Hill, everybody would play together and date and intermarry. It wasn't considered to be a thing at all.
Right.
But honestly, the Democrat Party has ruined the world. At least they're well on their way.
They get called carjackers and murderers and killers.
Well,
let's be friends.
We're called racist.
We'll be great friends now.
Who's everybody buy their drugs from? Republicans?
Okay.
But the CNN thing did find that it was the Democrat little kids that were creating the polarization, but the Republican kids, they were spouting.
Yeah, we have misinformation.
Which just means they don't read CNN.
I don't know if they just put the black dude on there to roast him or what, because I'm pretty sure he's either left-leaning or votes Democrat or something. But anytime I see those videos, the dude on the far right, he's always against the grain with everything that's being said. And then the one dude, the old dude, smoked him. He smoked all of them. He's like, yeah, those are the drug dealers and carjackers. It is. It ain't our fault. Now they're school shooters and kid fuckers and everything else. So yeah, it's even worse. But I don't know. I thought that was an interesting video. I don't think kids should even have a political opinion. It's not that I want the choice to be taken away from them. I think it's a burden that they shouldn't bear. I know, Hyena Harris just pops right in your head. But I just feel like, what does that have to do with kids? Don't have anything to do with kids. They can't vote. They don't make money. They don't even know the law. They don't even know what laws are. They think the law means that if you say sorry, you can get out of it, because that's how rules work. That's not how laws work. Kids don't know, so why should they be involved in politics? And you could hear how some of them were just kind of about vanity. You know, that one's a woman and this one's a man. But then other ones were saying, like, we need the first female black president. Someone said, like, they said something to that kid. They made that kid think that stuff. You know, no child thinks like that. They're very practical. And so to have a political opinion just shows that politics is bled into everything. TV shows, toys, everything. Schools. It's really bad in schools. And now kids are being affected by it. And I wonder what that'll look like when they're 20 years old. Are we going to have another instance where everybody who's 20 is an activist again? Like during the lockdowns, everybody's Facebook, picture had BLM stamps and gay flags and all that stuff. And everyone was claiming to be an activist and all that. And a lot of that's gone now. A lot of that is gone because the censorship came for everybody eventually. And it wiped a lot of that stuff out. But like I said, don't forget about that video, because our first funny video of the day is related to that. Anyways, let's see what we got next on the menu, and then we will be reading through the chat really quick. Wouldn't be a day if I didn't throw my chapstick. Holy. Next up, this is the biggest problem facing Mayor Eric Adams. This is our update on what's going on with him and all of that. And like I had mentioned earlier, the whole time Eric Adams has been investigated by the FBI for possible collusion with the Turkish government ever since it started. I've been saying that he was totally fine until he turned his back on Biden. They thought they were going to get federal funding for them border crossers they got in New York, and then they realized that wasn't going to happen. And after it didn't happen, Mayor Eric Adams had to start telling the people of New York, hey, that money we're waiting on, it isn't coming, and it's Biden's fault. And as soon as he started doing that, all of a sudden these investigations started, and it's not just him, it's everyone around him. They're getting their devices taken and whatever. And it's been, I think, more than a year at this point. But now the indictments are coming out. Now he's actually having to go to court. He's being publicly accused of stuff and all of that. And his response is actually, well, none of this happened until I turned my back on Biden. You guys are just coming after me because I actually said what's going on here. Now, in the video, they try to claim that, that's not the case and whatever. I think it's a combination of such, but we'll talk about it after we get through the video. Like I said, we're going to read through the chat right now, and then we'll get on to our follow-up with Mayor Eric Adams. Russell Boobs for president. Yeah, I'd vote for that. I'd vote for that. Not Hyena Harris's, though. No, sir. Breeze by you. When we were kids and the kids I know now only care if the people are nice or not. Nothing else really matters to them or us growing up. Yeah, Breeze value. Yeah, they're practical. Kids are practical. They don't, like I said, what does a political figure mean to them? Nothing. Politics doesn't have anything to do with kids. It does, but it doesn't. It obviously affects children, but as far as children's perception, there's no reason for kids to be involved in politics. Tom, my 11-year-old asked if I wanted a woman to be president. I said if the right one ran, I'd vote for her. I'm voting for Trump because he's more of the Constitution than Scamilla. Yeah, Tom, absolutely. And that's what I mean about like kids being practical. They don't know policy. They don't understand policy. If you told kids both people are making rules, kids would say don't vote for either of them because kids don't like rules. And that's what I mean. It doesn't even, the two things don't go together. But to a kid, they're like, are you voting for the boy or the girl? The younger one or the older one? Because that's how kids are. So it's funny the things they say, but it sucks that they even understand what politics is. I mean, they don't, but you know what I mean. They're being exposed to it is what I'm trying to say. True American, my 12-year-old last day of public school was today. She has trans friends in middle school. Like, no, I'm done. She's out. Yeah, True American. I think anybody who can homeschool their kids should. Because otherwise you're just leaving their education and their personality up to the school. And if the schools are corrupt and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, that's a slippery slope. Especially when it's done quietly. When there's no visible changes to your child, and then one day they're just radicalized. And you don't know where it came from. It's because they're being conditioned by these radical teachers in school. It's not everywhere, but where it is, it really sucks. And anybody that's got the power to homeschool their kids, they should be really trying to work on that. But that's the thing that sucks about having so much inflation in our poor economy right now, is you got to work so much that you don't have time to homeschool your kids. And I think that stuff is done strategically. Housing and food and all that stuff costs so much. You got to work 70 hours a week. How are you going to homeschool your kids on top of that? You know, and that's only 2 things. You still got to cook the dinner and do everything else. Scoop the dog shit, you know. No one's got time for that. Sure, America, you don't have to homeschool. They could do online school. There still has to be someone there to do that, to make them do it. And if you're at work, you can't make them do shit. You know, even if you got cameras at the house like I do, you can talk to the camera, but if your kid ain't listening, there ain't nobody there to crack the whip. You're at work, you know, and it sucks. But yeah, there is resources outside of just sending your kid to be indoctrinated. Rain, you must be responding to Pumpkin. I thought you were calling me Pumpkin for a second there. Prison Hug, I'm not against a woman president, just not Camilla. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Prison Hug. Pumpkin, these kids would be better off learning about Jesus than politics. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Prison Hug, I hope they don't get groomed by liberals. Yeah, well, and for what some of them are saying, I think they're being raised by liberals. Pumpkin, the poor kids have been brainwashed. Yeah. What's up, DeMarquise? Happy freedom. Garlic Press, the public school system is completely compromised now. Yep. Well, they fill these schools with the same kind of mentality that you see at pretty much any job right now. Everybody's just there to get a doll here. No one actually enjoys working or takes any pride in their job. They're just there to make money. And then you put people like the school board and stuff in charge where they're just disconnected from the kids. They don't know nothing about nothing. So they make these decisions and it just rains down on the school. Like a lot of those gay books that make it into the library. In most cases, the schools didn't order those books. The school board did. And then they just show up at the school one day, and the people at school, they just got to go put it in the library. And only the people who actually set it on the shelves even know what's there. So you got 90% of the school don't even realize they have gay books in class unless they're recommending kids to read them or they've been in the library themselves. Otherwise, they're just completely unaware because they don't give a shit. They're just there to make money. That's it. Why would they get off their ass to go do something that they don't have to do? They wouldn't, because that's how everybody is right now. Everybody's cutting corners, lying, cheating, stealing, and trying to get ahead on their own because things are so bad that everybody's suffering. Nobody's lifting a finger for anything that doesn't matter to them right now. And the kids are the ones getting fucked out of all of it. It's not good. It's not good. Things going on around us are not good. Mike, I didn't know they made leather toilet seats until I saw Camilla. That is a good one. I always call her a ball sack with teeth, but that's a good one too. Trev, I don't know a single kid that knows enough about politics to have an opinion. Yeah, Trev, I don't either. I don't either. I bet I know kids that would know who the candidates are, but not have a political opinion. Russell, I need to get groomed by the barber. I'm not letting anybody touch my wiener. Anyways, next up, we got Mayor Eric Adams. It's our follow-up, and we'll probably have tons of follow-ups as we watch him spiral out of control. But it's a really interesting video today because he's saying what I've been saying for a year, that the only reason they turned on him is because he started talking bad about Old Man Walter. I'm Rain. Jeff Mack talks to Klaus Daniels through the cameras. I have, but I actually stopped doing it because he feels like I'm here. And he'll mess up and assume that I'm going to talk to him, but really I ain't watching the cameras. So I had to stop. So he wouldn't think I was here when I'm not. Anyways, yes. And I'm sure it doesn't work with kids either. Like, hey, you little asshole, get back on the computer. They're like, yeah. Sure I will. I'll get back to work right away. All right, hooligans. Like I said, this is titled, "This is the biggest problem facing Mayor Adams." And he's going to make claims that everything was all good until he turned his back on Old Man Walter.
Fox News alert at exactly 6:30 here in New York City. Just a couple of hours, New York City's current mayor, Eric Adams, will be arraigned in court on bribery and campaign charges. He is accused of accepting upwards of $100,000 in ritzy hotel rooms like these, along with first-class flights and lavish gifts in return for favors to Turkish leaders. But Mr. Adams is arguing it has more to do with a weaponized Department of Justice after comments he has made like these over the years.
They watch me navigate 52,000 people coming into our city without one penny from the federal government. The president and the White House has failed New York City on this issue. Why isn't every elected official in Washington, D.C. asking the national government, why are you doing this to New York?
Why are they doing this? George Washington University professor Jonathan Turley joins us right now from the D.C. area. Jonathan, good morning to you.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay, so when it was first announced that he was going to be indicted, that's when he started saying, hey, it's because I complained about the Biden administration and migrants. Well, now we're taking a look at some of the stuff, and there's not a lot of there. And you just wrote a great op-ed, which essentially says, in the rush to judgment with those headlines, bribery, corruption, stuff like that, there's not much there.
That's right. There's certainly less than meets the eye once you begin to look at these charges. They, for example, say that there was a quid pro quo where the mayor intervened to speed along a fire inspection approval process for a Turkish consulate.
Right.
But the mayor can say, look, that's what mayors do. This is a city with a lot of diplomats, and we want to avoid diplomatic problems, including the arrival of the president of that country. So he has defenses to say there wasn't any quid pro quo here. The most damaging is probably the allegations of solicitation of foreign contributions, but we have to see how much knowledge he had. That $100,000 are largely upgrades and hotels, which certainly don't make him look good. But, I think, Steve, the biggest problem he's going to have is that the U.S. Attorney's Office was very aggressive yesterday and basically warned people around him, we will be indicting others, so you better cooperate. And they're trying to build a case with his associates because they know that those witnesses are very damaging in front of a jury.
It was kind of crazy. Apparently, they took his phone and they said, unlock it for us. And he said, I changed the password yesterday and I forgot it. Did the feds buy that?
No, and it's clear that they believe that he was obstructing efforts. Yep. He's not charged with that. But the biggest, one of the problems that people like Adams have is that.
I just want to point out that their ties match.
Jurors don't take kindly to these luxury suites, these upgrades to business class, but the government still has to stick the landing on that one. They've got to show that Adams knew where these upgrades were coming from. People like Adams might not know.
Okay. One other thing we want to know about, apparently, a three panel of judges taking a look at, these are the appeal judges. They're looking at Judge Engoron's civil fraud case against Donald Trump, where he is ordered.
Anyways, Mayor Eric Adams, he's in the shit. Fed boy's asking him for his phone. He said, I don't remember the password. They can't do anything about that. They can't do anything about any of that. You can just forget everything right there on the scene. I don't remember where I put my keys. I can't remember if that's my car. I don't know how to get in my phone. I can't remember my last name. I can't remember if I have any family members. And there's nothing they can do to you about that. You also have the right to remain silent. You just say nothing, and they could take that too. So I think it's really interesting because the way they talk about this story is as if Eric Adams was corrupt and the Biden administration went after him, and he's blaming the Biden administration, and Fox News is saying, you can't cry now. You shouldn't have been doing wrong. But what I think it is, I think the Biden administration knew that Eric Adams was doing wrong. I think that's why New York became one of the first sanctuary cities and where most of the border crossers were being imported at the beginning. I think they all knew that stuff. But as soon as he turned his back on Biden, that's when they went after him. Is because he was no longer a team player. They can't trust him anymore because he won't eat shit with a smile. And so when he decided to turn his back on Biden, they decided to go after him. I think he has legitimate reason to say, it was all good until I turned my back on Biden. Now they're coming after me. But I don't think that's the only case. I think he was doing dirt and Biden knew it. They all knew, they all know what's going on. And as soon as you're no longer with the program, you're kicked out of the circle. You're getting voted off the island. And that's what I actually think is happening, even though Fox and them are just trying to say, no, he got caught and he's making excuses. No, I think they're all bad. That's what I think it is anyways. Next up, Tulsi Gabbard. This is the latest example of America Last, talking about how President Trump now has to take a smaller venue because they don't have enough Secret Service for President Trump to be able to hold a big rally like what was scheduled for Wisconsin. Now the location has been moved. I don't know if it was outdoor and now it's going to be indoor or what happened. All I know for sure is that less people are going to be allowed in the building now as a result of this. There's some sort of event happening. There's a bunch of foreign diplomats here that all are required to be protected by Secret Service. And because of that, they don't have enough Secret Service to protect Trump. A lot of what they talk about in this video is the fact that this is election interference to prevent Trump from being able to speak to as many people that want to hear him and have already got tickets to go, see the event and stuff. To alter that is directly interfering with the election. Of course, nobody who has any power is going to do anything about this, but they're bringing up that is the fact. Now, before we get any further, I want to remind you guys really quick, if you would like to participate in Free Speech Saturday, make sure you post all of your memes over on Discord or over on jeffmaclive.com. Just hop in the group chats on either platform. You'll see the tabs labeled memes. Drop what you got and we'll shout you out as we're making Saturdays more fun. I'm going to read through the chat really quick and we'll get on to this Tulsi Gabbard video. Breeze by you, so cute with the matching ties. Yeah, when I was screening the video, I was, glancing at it and researching stuff or whatever, and I glanced over and I saw that the guy that was talking shit about Eric Adams, they had the same tie on. I was like, where's the cute people at? Like, all the cute people that'd be like, looking at the screen. And so I just thought I'd point that out because I noticed it earlier. Russell, he may have broken ethics laws, but I think Biden admin is going after him. Yeah, Russell, and that's what I think too. I think both things can be true. He can be corrupt, but Biden's also going after him because he turned his back on Biden. And I think both are true. What's up, Calax? Happy freedom. Breeze by you, kids need to be allowed to be kids. Yeah. Yep. They're the ones suffering the most out of all this woke crap we got going on. Pumpkin, Biden has done this sort of thing to other people. Yep. I wonder what it'd be like with Harris in charge. Some people were speculating that maybe they were going to pull down Old Man Walter and allow Hyena Harris to take over and then still give her the next, 4 years and whatnot because it won't count because she's VP. So I don't remember if it's 28th or what it is, but pulling Old Man Walter down to put Hyena Harris in charge as VP. I don't think they got enough time to do that at this point, but I still see people speculating that. AR-16, he's buttering both sides of the toast. Well, if he gets locked up, he's going to have his bread buttered for real. AR-16, Adams will get some baby oil. Yeah, he's going to fix these problems real quick. He'd be greased up in a basement somewhere. Ugh. Scary stuff. Normal times, the Fed boys will give him a pager. They'll call him when they're ready. Pumpkin, he is in trouble. Yeah. He's hanging out with evil people, and then he turned his back on them. They're going to eat him alive. Garlic Press, it's interesting to watch Democrats eat each other. Unfortunately, they're taking the whole country down with them. Yeah, Garlic Press. It's true. It was like that during the riots, too. They'd be burning down everybody else's shit until they didn't have anything to burn down, and then they'd start eating each other. And it's like, yeah, this is enjoyable, but they are still destroying everything that doesn't belong to them, burning American flags and everything else. What's up, Southern Eagleman? Happy freedom. U-Town the Diddler Inc. Happy freedom to you, U-Town. What's up, big chap? Happy freedom. You going to Benton Harbor? Yeah, I've been to Benton Harbor quite a few times. I haven't been there in a long time. I don't know what it's like now. Now that, you know, the weirdos are out there. Back in the day, you couldn't spot the weirdos from across the Walmart. Now they got bright colored hair like poisonous frogs and all that shit. Firmest, Camilla was at Diddy's freak-offs. She was the referee. She was the referee at the freak-offs. Because even on drugs, nobody wanted to touch her. Big chap going to a football game? Heck yeah. I hope you have a good time. Cat Daniels. He's over here chasing these damn stink bugs around the house. They ain't bothering him, but he's bothering them. He's latching onto the curtains and stuff. Gonna have to beat the cat. And it's not gonna be the fun kind of way. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next video here. This is Tulsi Gabbard. It's titled, "This is the latest example of America Last." Like I said, this has to do with President Trump having to move to a smaller venue for his Wisconsin rally because they don't have enough Secret Service to supply him to be able to be safe. Let's go ahead and get into this, and don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
All right, Trump is moving his upcoming rally. It's a big outdoor rally in Wisconsin now, forced to move it to a smaller indoor venue. And now we're learning why. Fox News is told that the Secret Service is shorthanded. Why? Well, because they have to protect all those diplomats at the UN General Assembly, the ones who hate us. They have to provide security for all the foreign dignitaries while they're here in the United States. That includes countries like Iran. And that means the Secret Service can't protect Trump because they're busy protecting leaders of a country that might want to plot to kill him. Let that sink in. Joining me now, Tulsi Gabbard, former congresswoman and member of Trump's transition team. Tulsi, apparently this administration's America Last policies now extend to the Secret Service. We seem to be prioritizing foreign dignitaries over perhaps the next president of the United States. How is that going to sit with the public?
Laura, you're right. This is exactly the latest example of America Last, and that shows the choice that we have between President Trump's America First policies and Kamala Harris's America Last policies, and we're suffering the consequences of those. The question is, who benefits from this decision? As you said, President Trump had to move to a much smaller venue, means he has much fewer people who can go in and hear him speak in a critical state like Wisconsin. Kamala Harris benefits from this decision that's coming from their administration, limiting his ability to reach people in a very critical time. How is this not election interference when Kamala Harris is the Democratic nominee running for president? And secondly, you have President Biden going out and announcing another $8 billion that he's going to give to Zelensky and his cronies in Ukraine, as we have the VA telling us they don't have enough money to take care of our veterans. We have soldiers living in moldy barracks. We have families in my home state of Hawaii who are still displaced from that Maui fire that happened well over a year ago. I don't know how they look at the American people, both Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, and continue to lie and say, oh, you know, I love my country and we're going to work for you, when their actions tell us the exact opposite.
Well, and Tulsi, we're learning that, and the angle will be there at the second Butler rally, which is going to take place next Saturday. Can we be confident that former President Trump will be protected there, given this Wisconsin move. I mean, that's a big rally for him, to finish the rally that he started on July 13th. Will that happen?
It's a special and powerful show of resilience and show of strength and fortitude on President Trump's part, first of all, and his commitment to the people there in Butler, Pennsylvania. All eyes are going to be on that rally. We will see what the Harris-Biden administration does. I remain very concerned because clearly, time after time, there have been multiple attempts on President Trump's life at this point, and the fact that still they are making other priorities other than his safety and security should not allow any one of us to rest in complacency.
Well, I wonder if we're going to see more of this. Like, yeah, they're saying that there's not enough Secret Service because we have foreign diplomats in the country who also need to be protected, which I think they should have some different kind of level of security than our presidential security. But either way, it has caused President Trump to have to take a different venue. Less people are able to hear him now. They are directly interfering with the election for God only knows how many times this has happened now. But what if they continue to do this? What if they continue to create excuses for Secret Service to not be able to be deployed to President Trump, causing him to continue to have to change his venues and switch his schedule and move to new locations, which will cause less people to show up because people don't like being inconvenienced at all. And so what if they continue to do this? Will anybody do anything about it then? They're already shooting at him. Now he's not even allowed to have rallies where he wants them because of Secret Service. Both, same problems. Why is he being shot at? Secret Service sucks. Democrats suck. Hand in hand. See the pattern? It's just nonstop. It's a bunch of bullshit. And they're going to continue to do it until they piss everybody off. Or worse. Next up, we have the last little bit of our news for the day. It's titled, Biden Order Hopes to Curb 3D Guns and Machine Gun Conversions. This is about the executive order that he wrote yesterday. I believe it was yesterday. We covered a little bit about what the expectations were in a video yesterday, but now that the executive order is signed, we're going to go ahead and play some more information on that as a follow-up to it. In the video, you'll see them do something weird to the camera footage. They're going to show these individuals holding firearms and whatever. Hopefully I don't get a strike on YouTube. They can eat my ass. But either way, they do something weird to the footage to make it look more scary maybe, or more aggressive. Every time they show guns, the screen is like shaking or stuttering. I don't know. It's very weird. I think they're manipulating the footage to make guns scarier than they actually are. Either way, that's what's coming up next. But first, we're going to read through the chat really quick and see what you hooligans think about what's going on with Secret Service and the fact that President Trump had to move the event because of Secret Service. Russell, we need Dan Bongino as head of Secret Service. I need to watch Dan Bongino. He comes up. He gets talked about a lot in the chat. Breeze by you, fuck YouTube, bunch of commies. Yeah, we'll see if we can get away with it. You're not supposed to show firearms on YouTube, and this is where everybody on YouTube goes to defend the platform by talking about Demolition Ranch and stuff like that. But they fail to realize those channels don't go live. Part of live streaming on YouTube is you're not allowed to show firearms. But we'll see if we can get through it. And if not, well, we just won't be live on that platform, and it doesn't pay the bills, so it doesn't really matter to me. Anyways. Russell, it is election interference. Yeah, I think it's directly election interference. Breeze by you, Secret Service is not to be trusted as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, what good are they doing? What good are they doing? Amarain, yeah, and I will have the sign back on the wall soon. I got to move my lights around and stuff because I should have left it where it was. It was perfect where it was. And then I moved everything, and now it's showing reflections of my lights in front of me, and it messes everything up. So I'll get it back on the wall. Thank you for asking, Amarain. I'm glad you guys dig it. Prison Hug, I worry about Trump's safety. Most Dems would like him dead. Yeah, Prison Hug. I worry about it too. And I mean, all we can do is worry about it. But I'm going to be really, really worried about it after Election Day. Because because a lot of reasons. I have high hopes that President Trump is going to win, but I do still think what I said months ago. I think that he's going to win, but what if the Democrats rig it in his favor? Then he wins. We all expect him to win. Everyone's going to be happy. The liberals and Democrats and other kid fuckers, they will be mad and in the streets pissing and shitting and maybe even setting themselves on fire. We'll see. But what if the Democrats turn around and say, we don't believe it. We're going to hold an audit. MAGA's going to get pissed. And be like, wait a minute, in 2020 we wanted an audit and you guys didn't want that. And they're going to go, yeah, this ain't 2020. And they're going to look into an audit and they'll find their own tipped scales. They'll find their own wrongdoing that they plant to push it over in Trump's favor. Now they can try and prove that he actually stole the election when he didn't. Now they can cause all kinds of chaos and other shit. And even if none of that happens and President Trump just legitimately wins on November 5th, starting November 6th, that bounty on his head is going to go up. There's going to be people who want to stop him more than ever before. And that's what I'm really going to be worrying about President Trump. Because if those Democrats and those commies are mad enough to shoot at him now, how are they going to feel after he wins the election and we're just waiting for the inauguration? That's what I'm really worried about. But we'll see, and there's nothing to it but to go vote November 5th. We'll worry about that other stuff when it arises, if it arises. Reading through. DCAT, Ben Harbor, home to the Hash Bash. Do they do Hash Bash there? I'm trying to think. There's a... Oh, I think it's Ann Arbor here in Michigan. They were just doing a mushroom festival. I think it was last year, and I heard it went well. DCAT, I know I'm not politically correct. I'm just a hooligan. What do you expect? Yeah, DCAT. It's the way to be. It's the way to be. What's up, Free Mind Art? Happy freedom to you. Garlic Press, Rob Reiner, also known as Meathead, said if Trump wins, he'll set himself on fire. It's him and all the liberals. They gotta yell free, free, East Palestine, Ohio, while they do it, though. Otherwise, I won't accept it, and they'll have to do a redo. Calex, never thought of that. This is like the third time I brought it up. But people get mad at me when I bring it up. But think about how easy it would be for them to do that. Think about how much it would piss off MAGA if they did that. I mean, they might get their wish. You know, they want white supreme pizza raining in the streets. That might be how they do it. To lie, cheat, and steal their way through 2020 and then deny audits and not even hold court dates and stuff like that. Then have the news claim that the court dates were President Trump losing 93 times or whatever the trolls were saying in the chat back in 2020. And in all actuality, there was never a day in court because the court system wouldn't hold a day in court because they didn't want to entertain the idea of a stolen election. Because they didn't want to go down and be canceled by BLMers and people like that. They also didn't want to be attacked by the administration and all of the Fed boys and stuff like that were going on. Like, look at, January 6th. So people wouldn't even allow it to happen in court. But there was board meetings with the Secretary of State of multiple states, and we covered all of that live. And every time we covered it, they provided evidence of things not being fair or accurate, and all of the board members agreed. And they said that there was inaccuracies and that an audit should happen, but it had to go back to Pence, and he had to strike it down during the certification process in order for the states to hold the audit. But when it came to Pence, he certified the election instead of kicking it back to the states so we could have an audit. And because of that, that's why everybody called Pence a traitor. That's why we never had an audit to begin with. Now, Arizona went and did their own audit, and they did find inaccuracies. Now, it was kind of weird because not only did they find inaccuracies, but they were more blue than they had already voted for. So instead of liberals being pissed off at an unfair election, they just celebrated that the unfairness went in their favor. And that was it. Nobody else ever talked about it. It just died in the wind and was swept under the rug. So to have 2024 go much the same, but instead of in favor of blue team, they rig it to be in favor of red team, nobody would expect that. And if they call an audit and claim a fake election and then actually hold a fucking audit or even deny the certification of the election, MAGA would lose their minds. And people are not even thinking about that shit. And when I say it, people get mad at me like I thought it up. They're all saying, don't give the Democrats ideas. These people are rolling out like 50-year agendas. They're not taking ideas from me. I'm just saying it first. I'm saying it first. Anyways, hopefully none of that happens. Orange Eagle wins. We all get to laugh in the face of crying liberals, and we'll just worry about bullshit as it comes to us and enjoy the mass deportation and dudes in dresses being kicked out of women's sports and everything else that President Trump has been promising. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this video here. This is the last little bit of our news. It's titled, Biden Order Hopes to Curb 3D Guns and Machine Gun Conversions. Like I said, this is about an executive order that he signed yesterday. We played a little summary of what to expect yesterday, so this is our follow-up video of what this order means. Now, before we get into this, I want to remind you guys really quick. If you would like to join the membership program over on Rumble, all you have to do is click that big red subscribe button right below where you type in the chat. Now, if you're on Android and you're using the Rumble app, you're unable to see that big red subscribe button. So you got to go to rumble.com using a browser, come to the live, hop in the chat, and like I said, right below where you type in the chat, you will see that big red subscribe button. Click that button and jump through the hoops, and your name will be highlighted as an official Rumble Hooligan. You'll have access to our custom emojis. We have chapstick emojis, scream and goat emojis, Klaus Daniels emojis, President Trump emojis, and more. It's a lot of fun during the live, especially during a Trump live, so definitely join the membership program over on Rumble. Let's go ahead and get this pulled up here. It's about Old Man Walter's executive order to ban, or I don't know if it's a ban, but to fight against 3D printed guns as well as machine gun conversions. So let's go ahead and get into this. And don't forget, hit that like button over on Rumble.
Never thought I'd have to sign something like this, but we do.
US President Joe Biden signed a new executive order to tackle changing trends in gun violence Thursday. 3D printed firearms and machine gun conversion kits are among the threats that would be assessed by the new federal task force the order aims to create. The conversion kits allow handguns and other semi-automatic weapons to match or exceed the rate of fire of many military guns, and police say they're increasingly showing up in crime scenes.
The law also invests over $1 billion, the largest one-time ever investment ever, in seeking to deal with mental health issues in our schools.
Thursday's order also directs federal agencies to create more effective active shooter drills for schools and colleges. Most US states already require schools to conduct mass shooting drills, but some research has found them ineffective and traumatic to students. The order's signing at the White House gathered more than 100 survivors of gun violence, including former Representative Gabby Gifford.
There's so much more we have to do. I think it's time to reinstate the assault weapons ban and high-capacity magazines. And I've been fighting for this. I'm going to continue after I leave this office. End immunity for the gun industry. End it, end it, end it.
Democrats largely favor stricter gun laws as a way to reduce deaths from gun violence. Republicans generally oppose stricter laws. They cite the right to bear arms established in the U.S. Constitution's Second Amendment. Harris, who is running for president as the Democratic nominee, has lately been trying to appeal to both the 1/3 of Americans who own a gun and the 2/3 of Americans who support stronger regulation of gun ownership.
It is a false choice to suggest you are either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. I am in favor of the Second Amendment, and I believe we need to reinstate the assault weapons ban and pass universal background checks, safe storage laws, and red flag laws.
After an assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump in July, a Trump advisor said he would continue to protect gun rights.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like I was saying, I can remember if it was yesterday or day before. We covered a video where they were talking about, it might have been that video. They were talking about devices that would cause firearms to become machine guns. But then they don't even tell you what they're called. You could have somebody trying to sell you this part and you wouldn't even know. They call it a switch. And they're most popular being used with Glocks, but I'm sure there's other conversions. I've heard of certain kind of things with ARs and whatnot, but the most popular one I hear about is called switches. And you can attach it to your Glock and it will do something to the firearm to make it fully automatic, which is obviously illegal. So I don't know exactly what his little EO did to do that, because I'm not even sure how they're manufactured. I don't look into it because I have no intentions of breaking the law. But they don't really talk about that. What they slid in there is that they created a new, what are we going to call it? Like a new, I don't want to say an agency, but they created something that is a group of individuals who is supposed to look into this. They're going to look into devices to convert firearms into machine guns, and they're also, I think, going to be the ones to develop what the new plans are for schools as they deal with active shooter drills and stuff like that. They kind of mention this, I don't know what you want to call these people, this group of individuals that they are assembling to deal with this. I wonder how many of these little groups of people has the government created in the last 4 years. Because I know we have a new a new group of people that are supposed to look into misinformation and disinformation, which that is straight communism. Now we got a new group of people that are going to look into 3D printed guns and devices used to convert guns into machine guns. I mean, yeah, that sounds great, but who is the new group of people? Where are they going to be located? What is their authority? Is there any routine? Are they going to have something they provide every year, like statistics and tests and studies? And who knows? Who knows? Because they don't say it. They just have these little videos where they're like, yeah, we devised a new group of people, kind of like the J6 committee they created. They created a new committee of people who are going to be spying on Americans in the name of national security. Stuff like that. I hate that. I hate that stuff, because for all that talk they do about surveilling us and it's all for the greater good, every time something bad happens here, we find out that the FBI has been on that person for longer than a year. They didn't stop the person. They knew about them. They knew they were radicalized. They knew they had ties to other radical people, and then they just let them do bad stuff. Same thing with the border crossers. They're letting more than 200 known terrorists into the country since the Biden administration has been in office. What are they doing about that? Nothing. They're not doing anything about it, but then they create new committees to watch Americans. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Well, hooligans, like I said, that is the last little bit of our news. We have 2 funny videos coming up, and President Trump is supposed to be live in 40 minutes. So we better get through this so we can wrap this up, and we'll start a brand new live for President Trump being live here in Michigan. It's a town hall, so it should be good. He's supposed to be on stage, like I said, in 41 minutes from now. So we're going to go ahead and get through this. We are going to read through the chat really quick. But next up, we have our first funny video of the day, and it's titled, Kids Say the Darndest Things. And like I said, it's a deleted scene from that video that we covered just a moment ago with the children talking about what they think about politics. And it's a good one. But like I said, it's coming up next. First, we're going to read through the chat. Breeze by you, FBI is a terrorist organization. Yeah, I don't see any proof otherwise. Russell, no red flag laws and universal background checks could only be enforced by a registry. Yeah, they are surveilling us and they're lying about it. But all countries are like that. All countries who are surveilling their citizens, they're lying about it. It's always in the name of the greater good. That's what the Nazis told people to get on the train. Get on the train. It's for the greater good. We're going to take everyone out of town. You guys are going to go to a nice little spa. And it'll be great. Get on that train. It's for the greater good. And then they ended up in hell. Calax, so she doesn't believe in the Second Amendment. Nah, she's playing semantics. She doesn't believe in the Second Amendment, but she doesn't want to ban guns. Those assault weapons, we're only going to let the weapons exist that are not for assault. That's all she's saying. As long as we got guns that aren't for assault, she'll let us keep those. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Breeze by you, cunt Milla. Yep. Comrade Camilla. I think that every single time President Trump calls her comrade, Like Cumrag Camilla. Mm-hmm. DCAT, I wonder how much more can they turn public schools into prisons, because most of them already have fences around them. What are they going to put in? Guard towers now? Yeah, DCAT, I mean, that's all they're missing. That's all they're missing is guard towers. It's true. It is true. They'll do anything except for get rid of gun-free zones and allow teachers to be armed. And I know Tennessee is allowing that, but nationwide, that's what they need. And instead, the government just, more laws. We'll make more laws for the criminals that don't follow laws. Doesn't make any sense, but they continue to do it. What's up, Ia? Happy freedom. Cool Frog, stop the red flag laws. Yeah, we just got red flag laws here in Michigan, and it sucks. Cool Frog 2A has already been infringed upon. Yep. Yep. Stoner. Stoner, they can look into each other's asses, but they won't see shit. Yeah. They just see each other. That's the Fed boy way. Rip Curl, the reason the old assault weapon bans sunsetted is because it didn't stop violent crime. Yeah, Rip Curl. Well, and that's what I mean, you know. Let's make more laws for the criminals who don't follow laws. That's why Democrats are so stupid. Cool Frog, rubber band can be used as a switch. I've heard all kinds of stuff. That's why I really wonder, what is that, you know, that new committee of individuals who are going to look into 3D printed guns and, you know, machine gun devices and stuff like that. What exactly are they going to be doing? Because you'd have to ban 3D printers. You know, how are they going to do that? Or ban rubber bands. How are they going to do that, you know? They'll find a way. What's up, XX5? Happy freedom. CCP, run. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Keith, they're the ones selling assault weapons on the streets. Yep. It's their shooters shooting at the president, too. It's their shooters that are shooting in schools. And then the Democrats are like, whoa, damn, radical MAGA. It ain't MAGA doing this shit. You know, like they said in that one video, talking about liberals and stuff. They were like, yeah, those are the drug dealers and car thieves and stuff. It is. It is, because everybody else has got shit to do. We got stuff to earn, money to make. Hot babes to take out on dates that don't have wieners. That's why they hate us so much. Democrats can't get women, so they had to become them. That's, you know, that's how it went. I'd be mad too, I guess. Backyard. Let's see. What is false is to suggest that 2/3 of folks who do not have guns support tougher gun laws. That needs to be called out. Backyard, they say so much nonsense. Like, KJP comes out on stage for the White House press briefings and goes, Americans want this, talking about something no one's ever heard of. And this is the first time she's ever uttered these phrases, and she's like, but this is what Americans want. And like, what are you talking about? They just use that stuff to sell it. It's all lies. The media should be held liable for intentionally spreading lies. Being a little inaccurate is one thing, but to just blatantly say things that are not true, I feel like official news stations should be held liable. Or like not be considered news. There needs to be like some sort of subgenre or something. I remember like being in grocery stores when I was younger and seeing, I think they're called tabloids, where it looks like a newspaper but everything in it is fake. They talk about like aliens landing and Elvis is back and stuff like that. That wasn't called misinformation and disinformation back in the day. People weren't asking for that stuff to be banned. It was just recognized for what it is. And I think it's crazy that the White House and all them, they're always talking about banning hate speech and misinformation and disinformation. And RFK Jr. was speaking at President Trump's live event that we had covered in the beginning of the live, and he was calling that out specifically. He was saying that's all free speech. Hate speech, misinformation, disinformation is all free speech. The government's always claiming that they want to ban that, but at the same time, they own the media. That's the government's news that is up there doing all that nonsense lying and stuff. They don't have a problem with their own news spreading misinformation and disinformation. It's just when people like me have something to say and they don't agree with it, or it's completely against their agenda, then they got a problem with it. So it's okay when they lie, but if they don't want people like me telling the truth, they just call us liars and have us banned and censored and everything else. That's the way it goes. That's bad, though. All right, hooligans, it is that time. We're going to get into our funny videos of the day. Like I said, a little over 30 minutes. President Trump is expected on stage again. It will not be a part of this live, but we will be covering it. So we're going to make our way through Coffee with Hooligans so we can get ready for the Trump live. Plus, I have to try and figure out food. Otherwise, I won't get to eat today. Anyways, this first video for our one of two funny videos of the day is titled Kids Say the Darndest Things. Now, before we get into this, I got to give you guys the last reminder. If you would like to support the live to keep us running, you're welcome to use that Linktree link in the description in order to make donations. You can do that by using PayPal, Cash App, Stripe, Locals, Buy Me a Coffee, or you can even send crypto. So let's get this first video pulled up. And like I've mentioned 2 or 3 times, this is a deleted scene from that children have an opinion about politics. It's literally from the same video. They just didn't include it with the original story that we had covered. So let's get into this. This is the first of 2 funny videos of the day. This is titled Kids Say the Darndest Things.
What's the first word that pops into your head when you hear the name Kamala Harris?
Liar.
Liar. Love it. Also, the woman that was interviewing them, the snout on her. Never seen a beak like that before. I don't know how she fits food in her mouth. You know, I'm just saying. It's rough stuff. It's a game of dodge the nose there. So anyways, we're going to get into our official funny video of the day, and it is titled The Oval Office. Love it. President Trump comes in with the spiked out armor and stuff. Love it. Love every minute of that. Well, hooligans, that is all the coffee I had for you guys today. But like you already know, in 31 minutes, President Trump will be live on stage once again, and we will be covering it in a separate live. I'm going to drop this Linktree link to all of you hooligans, where all of my links are listed. So if you would like to make donations, join membership programs, or purchase any merch, I would really appreciate it. All of your guys' contributions keep us running every day except for Sunday. So we've got to have a day to recharge those batteries. Definitely go join Discord. Discord is our free hooligan community. It's the best way to be notified every single time we go live. The hooligans are there keeping the conversation going 24/7. And we have a news board to keep you up to date with everything going on around the world. So definitely go join Discord. If you're feeling real saucy, go join jeffmaclive.com. Over on the website, it is the best way to experience the live. Our built-in chat has more ability than any other platform. We can post memes and GIFs and custom emojis and links and all kinds of stuff right there in the chat while we are watching the live. You can also make posts in Hooligans Alley, which is our social media area. It's kind of like Facebook or Twitter, but there's no crazy community guidelines. There's no crying liberals. There's no fact checkers. There's nothing stupid like that. It's the way that social media is supposed to be. You'll also have access to our forums, which is to encourage open discussion. And we have an arcade that is full of games. And then you'll also have access to our advanced messaging system with built-in group chats that gives you the ability to text each other, call each other, video call each other, group texting, group calling, group video calling, and more. There's so much stuff to do over on the website because I'm constantly working on it. So definitely go get yourself a membership for jeffmaclive.com. It's the home of the hooligans. We're going to read through the chat really quick, see what you hooligans think about those funny videos, as well as anything we covered during today's coffee. And then we will be doing the Pledge of Allegiance and wrapping things up. But like I said, in 29 minutes, President Trump is expected to be back on stage for a town hall here in Michigan. It's going to be a good time, so hopefully I see you guys right here. I'm going to read through really quick. What's up, Sam? Happy Freedom. Thank you for letting me know, Snooks. Appreciate you, Breeze by You. Russell, the kid's not wrong. He ain't wrong. Hey, thanks for stopping in, Calax. What's up, Nana? Happy Freedom. D-Cat. Didn't you know that the truth hurts when it comes to being a politician? But of course, you wouldn't, because you're not a politician. You're an American. That's right, D-Cat. That's right. On America's side. Rappy, love it. Yeah, I love those videos. Happy Freedom Normal Times. Appreciate you being with us. Seppa, I'd watch this. I would too. DCAT, the Democrats will ban rubber bands along with assault hammers. That's because they're fascists. Yep. Force everyone to comply. What's up, 78? Happy Freedom to you. Tool to care. Time to grab a thick PB&J. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Pumpkin. Appreciate you being here. Lisa, Israel is tearing it up. I heard that some stuff is kicking off right now. I think we're good to go. Sam. Yeah. That's all right. We got President Trump coming up in 27 minutes. It'll be a part of a separate live. But we got something else for you, Sam. All right, hooligans. It is that time once again. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, did the thing. Like I said, we got President Trump coming up soon, so I got to get this live put together and try and run down the street and get some food really quick for dinner later on. I won't be late, though, so don't you worry. I'm trying to think. I think we got everything. We're going to read through the chat one last time just to make sure no hooligans are left behind. But like I said, we're wrapping this up because we got Trump coming up live next. Thank you, Rappy. Appreciate you being here. Hey, thank you for letting me know, AR-16. Yeah, I figured we were going to get some rough weather once it makes its way across the nation. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate you, Garlic Press. Thank you, Southern Eagleman. Appreciate you, Tony Rich. Hi, Echo. We're wrapping this up. We're going to be live again in a second, though. Breeze by you, not the horse kind. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Thank you for being here, Cassandra. All right, we did the thing. Like I said, we will be live again soon. We probably won't go live right at 6 o'clock unless President Trump is on stage, because that's what I wait for. So if you show up in the chat and we're not live right at 6, it's because I'm sitting here watching the live waiting for President Trump to step on stage, and as soon as he does, we will kick things off. And like I said, it's a town hall. It's here in Michigan. Let me see exactly where it is for those of you that care. President Trump hosts a town hall in Warren, Michigan. Like I said, it's going to be 24 minutes from now. So let's get everything together. Hopefully I'll see you guys right here. I feel like there's something else I want to say. I don't know. I'll tell you on the next live. Huge shout out to everyone that made donations, joined the membership programs, or purchased any merch. I really appreciate all of you hooligans. And I wouldn't be able to do any of this if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for all your support, and I'll see you on the next live. Until then, stand tall, shine bright, and that's a wrap.